Hello and welcome. This is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching. What's going on? Hey, I got a haircut today. Man, my hair was getting just... It felt like COVID days when there was nobody to cut the hair, man. Finally got it. Looks like we only got 52 people watching tonight. Isn't that great? Fantastic. So how about you guys go out right now and share the video somewhere else? Because I think I used up my 3 notifications. One on a late show yesterday, and then 2 videos today, and now we're on a live stream. Yeah, Blue's doing okay. He still just kind of rests a lot. I think the key is getting rid of whatever is hurting his back. But go ahead and go out and share the video before we get started here, all right? Don't go, hey, somebody else is doing it. Take the link, go out and share it somewhere, and hit the like button. I've only got 28 likes, but only 70 people watching because I used up my notifications. Hey, look at Chloe over there. Now you can see her eyes. Yeah. There's Blue chilling out back there. Or let me somebody do where's that stopwatch thing? Stopwatch. Alright. Let me see. I'm gonna count as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So about 5 times 4, 20. That's pretty good. 20 breaths a minute. Not bad, not bad. Well, we only got 88 now, so we're not going to... I don't know, man. 88 people. And there's other people with 5,000. You know? Man, YouTube sucks. Hey, cool. Alright, Zozo. Awesome. Anyway, we'll just do it anyways. Maybe I'll just put a video out tomorrow on the same thing. Yeah, I mean, there's 6 different interviews that have come out recently. Which is good. I'm just closing down a bunch of windows that are open. All right. Mm-hmm. Okay. Why don't you send me an email on that, Rebecca? Check it out. Oh yeah? Well, cool, Christina. A Maltese and a German Shepherd. Why do you guys think we've only got 113 people right now? Anybody figure that out? That's amazing. Yeah, he tried to be friendly with him, he said. I mean, he was actually married to Jennifer. Now, a lot of people just thought that they were a one-night stand at one point, and like she got pregnant, but it turns out they were married for a while. Hey, thanks, Simple Life. Thank you. Is it my thumbnail? I thought my thumbnail was pretty good. Alright, forget it. Man, so weird.
A lot of these people involved. Yeah.
So I edited, I tried to edit out as much as I could. Like, I mean, this is him right here, the first one.
All right, the date is March 5th, 2024. The time is 2:19 p.m. We are at the Kissimmee Police Department. Reference to case number 2401896. Person present are myself, Detective Morris, Detective Smallwood. And your first name?
Stephen with a V.
And last name?
Young, Y-O-U-N-G.
All right, before we get started, can you just raise your right hand for me? Do you swear?
I mean, his name's in the news, so that's fine.
And affirm that the statement you're about to give is the truth, nothing but the truth to the best of your knowledge, so help you God.
Yes.
Perfect.
I cut out all the addresses and phone numbers.
Okay. I have a feeling you know why you're here, why you came to Florida and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. There's an investigation into a young lady named Madeline, her death. Okay. Throughout the investigation, we spoke with Jennifer, Madeline's mom, and she said that you and her were married at some point. Mm-hmm. Do you remember when that was?
We were married on March 14th, 2015. I can remember that because it's Pi Day, 3.1415. We divorced, I think, in 2016, maybe 2017. It'd be in Kissimmee Records, though. It was done here in Osceola County.
Okay. Where did you meet her?
Online, OkCupid.
OkCupid is like a dating site or something like that? Okay.
Website. Yeah, it's like pink and blue and before Tinder and all these apps came out and stuff. Yeah, I met her on OkCupid. Can I take out my phone? I took some notes on dates that I could remember.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for you guys to be asking about how long I've known them and stuff and whatnot. I think I met her.
I mean, see, here's the thing, everybody. Like, he cares about Madeline, but he's not sitting here bawling and doing all this stuff. I mean, this is after they knew that she was dead. Okay? Now, does everybody have to hate him, too? I mean, it's like he's just a person trying to answer questions.
Around summer of 2013.
I don't find anything wrong with this guy at all. And I don't know why he gets backlash out there from people. It's bizarre.
Yeah, we were married March 14th, 2015. And I think we divorced somewhere at the end of 2016, beginning of 2017, somewhere in there. But again, I know it should all be in Osceola Records.
That's fine. And when you guys were married, did you live here or did you...
We lived in the apartment where everything happened.
Okay, so in Venetian Bay.
Yeah, it was her, Maddie, my daughter, and...
Yeah, you see it on other live streams. I don't know, man. This case right here is showing you who the trash YouTubers are out there. You might as well go check them out.
And me.
Okay, did anybody else live there at the time?
Juan.
Her
dad.
Okay.
I think he still owns that unit, and he lived there in the bottom floor unit. Maddie had a room, my daughter had a room, and me and Jen had a room upstairs.
What was your and Jennifer's relationship like?
It was pretty.
I mean, but Maddie's his daughter too, so he says my daughter. So maybe it's like the one that he's referring to, the one he can take care of. I mean, that's his custody.
Good for the first couple of years we were together. She started having some mental health issues, which...
Like what?
She would just get really depressed, and she would just kind of shut down some days, and so I'd just be on full parent duty, just take care of both kids and do the pickups and everything and do the dinner, and I was in school, I was working full time, and I was exhausted.
But for those of you who are here, if there's any chance you guys can help support the channel tonight, this is one of the videos that was part of the package of our, $1,200 a piece that we put into it.
And it just got to the point where her mental health was just stacking up, and I couldn't be there as much, and I needed to take my daughter out of that environment, and we still co-parented. Like, Maddie to me is, is my other daughter. I was in her life for 11 years. Like, me and my daughter, like, that was my daughter's sister. That's the only close thing she's ever had to a sister. We still have birthday gifts. We talked to her, like my daughter and her best friend.
And there's Cheryl Bullock. Thank you very much. You always make me go, thank you. Somebody helped out.
Played games with Maddie every month for years online together. And like, I talked to Maddie all the time. I'd pop over and talk to her and ask how things were. And I thought she was in good hands. And I know that me and Jen didn't work out, but to me, she was still a friend. And I still loved and cared about Maddie. And so I tried to be a friend to Stefan, too, when he came in the picture. Like, if he's in Maddie's life, I want to get to know this person. So I tried to get to know him some, try to be a friend to him.
Where did you meet him?
I met him through Jen. I think she said that he had met him through a real estate company that his parents had at the time. I don't remember positions they had there.
Okay.
But she said she's involved with him, and I loved Maddie, so anybody's involved in her life, I wanted to know. And so I tried to get to know him, be a friend to him. We started connecting on, like, tabletop games and stuff. Like, I was into D&D. I think he's introduced me, like, Star Wars Legion and this Robomech game. So, like, I tried to play some of those with him and stuff. We went and shot guns before. I looked it up. I think we went to Tannerack. It's on the way between here and Tampa. It's a public shooting range down there. But he was just so commercialistic. And
what do you mean?
He just always wanted to buy the next thing. And, like, when I would invest in a game, like, I was playing the game for a while. Like, I've been playing the same D&D game with my sister for 2 years. It's the same campaign. Like, I like playing the same thing and not reinvesting in new stuff. And he was always the next thing. And we got in a little, like, argument one day. I went to visit them down in Northport, and I essentially called him a sellout for always buying new shit, and kind of had a little tantrum. And then
I think it's kind of weird that, like, Jennifer randomly met two guys that are into D&D type board games. I mean, what are the odds of that, huh?
Kind of stopped talking after that.
When do you think that was?
It was before COVID, because I think that, if I remember correctly, she moved back up from Northport during COVID. So I think it had to have been right before then when they were down there.
Did they live in a house or?
They were in an apartment. We visited them once.
Okay.
But there was an apartment down there that they had in Northport.
Okay.
But yeah, me, my wife, and my daughter all visited them because we're always trying to keep the girls together because they're each other's siblings, Like, they didn't have any biological siblings of their own. And so whenever we could, we tried to keep them together. And I've tried to talk to my daughter to see if she can remember anything.
Just so I'm clear, that Jennifer is not the mother of your daughter.
No, she's not the biological mother of my daughter. That's a whole nother story. I'm not sure exactly where she's at. Right. She's been on the run and not paid teleport for.
So the daughter that he has custody of isn't Jennifer, but Jennifer and Steve here are Madeline's biological parents.
Years, that's a whole nother thing. But no, I have Jen, who's been like.
No, I don't think that's true, Penny. I don't think you're correct. At the beginning, he said that he met her in 2009 or something. Well, I don't know. I don't remember what year it was, but they got together. I think. I don't know. Maybe. Are you sure? Because I'm pretty sure that he mentioned that that they had sort of a one-nighter after they had like broken up before. I don't know. We'll have to go listen to it, but
A mother to Ash, my daughter, for 11 years now. And then I have my wife, who's incredible. We call ourselves a nice blended family. We've all tried to help each other out.
That's the young lady downstairs?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we all try to help each other out. We're all friends. I mean, now it's, really hard to look at wedding photos and stuff and seeing some of these people in it. And, but, sorry, I'm a little venti right now. It's been frustrating, this whole thing, and trying to wrap my head around.
yeah, my brother used to play D&D all the time.
What happened.
It's a lot. It's a lot. So...
Sorry, you can ask me what
That's okay. That's okay. Take your time. I know this is a tough time for you guys right now. So when you would hang out with Steven around here...
Stefan,
sorry.
No,
Steven,
sorry.
Stefan. Then we have a Stefan that works here.
I just need to hear the name difference for myself.
Yeah. So when you and Stefan used to hang out around here, where were you living at that time?
So we've lived in Williamsburg.
Is there something wrong with men that cry when their child dies, Cindy? Or somebody they care about dies? Just curious.
Williamsburg up John Young Parkway?
Yeah, right behind like SeaWorld area over there.
You make such
I
ludicrous
lived in
comments, Cindy. It's almost
Anderson. I think when I
embarrassing.
first met him, that's up in South downtown, Anderson Street.
Okay.
That's when I first met him. He never went over there, but I would come down and visit Jen and bring Ash over there. And unfortunately, I let her sleep over there with Maddie and stuff in the same fucking house. But like, she would go down there and visit them. And so I think it's when I first started meeting him. I lived in South Orlando. And then...
When was that? Do you remember? Roughly what year?
That was me and Jen got married in 2015. So that would have been January of 2016 that I think is when I moved into downtown Orlando.
Yeah, I mean, the part of this video sounded like they had like a one-nighter, but he might have been talking about somebody else because he said they lived together and his daughter, and then Maddie was over here. So it almost sounded like he wasn't referring to Maddie as his biological daughter. So it's kind of confusing. But he was married to Jen for quite a while.
And I was there for about just over a year. Yeah, and then moved in with my wife's cousin for a few months, and then we moved to Williamsburg. And then we got a house over here in Kissimmee, Southwind. It's off 192, near Medieval Times.
Okay. Yep.
Those houses back there that are almost an acre-ish. Yeah. And that's where we lived. I think police came and talked to me the other day when they were still trying to locate her body. And I think I gave them the wrong dates. I moved in 2020 to Colorado. I moved into that house in 2020, and I moved into Colorado in 2022.
Okay.
But I was really frazzled. The thing on the news had just come up with the update, and they had just shown up like the minute that started.
You know what's weird, Cindy? It seems like you ignore every time that Jennifer cried. She's cried many, 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 many times. Just because she doesn't cry every second of every video doesn't mean she doesn't cry. She cried a lot. I mean, I've seen her, I would say almost every video that she's been in or audio, she's cried at some point in them. And I just don't understand. Are people supposed to cry every second of them if you're trying to help figure some stuff out? Or I don't know.
So like trying to watch, they're trying to talk to me, and I got frazzled. So I think I did give incorrect dates on that the other day. But
no
I moved to that house in 2020 and then to Colorado in 2022. So correction on.
That's right. So when you're living...
Okay, I thought he was the biological father. So who is the biological father then? I mean, it was kind of confusing the way this guy was talking at some point in here. Maybe it shows up later.
All these places, when was Stefan with Jennifer at that point?
He was, as far as I know, they've been pretty much on for most part of the past 7 years, but a little on and off the past few.
Okay.
As far as I understood.
Have you known him to have any kind of mental illnesses or anything like that you know of?
Jen always said that, like, he had depression and anxiety, and sometimes he'd be, like, short to temper, but she never mentioned that he got violent, because I would ask her, like, does he get violent when he gets angry? Like, that's a whole other thing. Like, someone can get frustrated, work through it, versus someone getting violent. And
Okay, I have him too. I do have Tyler Wallace on here, so we'll listen to that too.
And she never said he got violent. You know, I always asked Maddie, like, the first few years they were together, I'm like, hey, how is Stefan? Like, is he treating you nice, you know?
How old was she when they got together?
See here, when me and Jen split up, she was 4. So she probably would have been, like, in early elementary school, like 5 or 6, but around there. And
you would have these conversations when she was in kindergarten, 1, 2, 2nd grade?
Yeah, so she would have been about 6 then when he came into her life, I think. That sounds about right. So, yeah, it would have been around, like, 1st grade and stuff, because I remember I was talking to her, like, oh, you're starting school again, like, and then I'd have Ash talk to her about what it's like to start elementary school and help get wrapped up in that. And it's like, oh, how's school, how's home, you know, how's mom, she doing okay, you know, because I know a lot of times, like, her and grandma would take care of her some days.
Yeah, so the thing is I haven't really cared, like, who the father is and the stepdad, etc. It's irrelevant to the case. Okay, all that really matters is the Stefan Stearns and Jennifer Soto angle. I mean, it's interesting to get context from them and things that they observed as witnesses, but they're not, like, they have no bearing on the case whatsoever. My God, how many times do people have to repeat stuff over and over and over again? We know, Nicole. People have corrected it above many times already.
And whatnot, so just trying to check on Jen kind of through the daughter, you know, just see how her perspective on life is and and whatnot.
I'll put the word step in the
when you guys lived together, how was, like, the dynamic? I know you said you guys shared a room, and then Maddie had a room and Ashlyn had a room. Is that right?
And sometimes Ash and Maddie would share a room together. I think they had a bunk bed for a little while and shared a room, and then one became their playroom, but it went back and forth. They had separate rooms.
At any point did you guys, like, share? I know when kids are young, they sleep with their parents and stuff like that.
Yeah, these kind of comments will not be permitted on here. Like Margaret, the genius, just typed in. Maddie's mom pimped her out. She chose a monster over her own beautiful child. That is the ultimate betrayal. And as a mom myself, you're so great. You're the greatest mom in the world, man. It breaks heart thinking about how Maddie felt so invisible and alone. How do you know what, like, if she felt invisible and alone? Like, how do we know any of these things that you're saying? She had friends and so forth. I just think Stefan Stearns was a monster that was abusing her on the side. She didn't. He convinced her that everything was okay, what they were doing. Don't tell your mom. Don't tell your mom. So when you say stupid shit like she pimped her out, where the hell do you come up with stuff like that? It's just disgusting. I mean, my God, I hope nothing ever happens to you where somebody kind of like something alludes to you and then they start saying that you pimped somebody out. I mean, what a joke. Jesus, you gotta be kidding me. And I'm not a huge fan of Jennifer Soto. Okay, like, I don't go sit around, oh wow, Mom of the Year award. You know, it's hard to say if she's I've said that she's not a good mom, but I keep saying that she's not a good mom because of her mental illness and all of her mental problems and all the drugs that she's on makes her seem like she's not a good mom. But does that mean she isn't a somebody who cares because she has all the mental problems? I mean, I don't know, you guys, but they just said, we just played a July interview where it turns out that they do not believe that Jennifer knew or had anything to do with what Stefan Stearns was doing. Doesn't that mean something to you? My God, wake up.
What happened with...
When I first met Jen, Maddie slept in the bed with Jen.
Okay.
I wasn't comfortable with that at her age. unless it was like a nightmare or something like that, then yeah, of course my daughter can come and join me in bed if she has a nightmare. But I felt like there's a point that like you need to start letting them sleep on their own and self-soothe at night. So I would always encourage the self-soothe, go to bed on your own. And then after we had divorced, or after we had split up and we were on our own, I found out she was back to her own bed, or back to sharing a bed with Maddie again. And I know that like that's the way that her mom always did it.
If he did it or not,
like
Cindy.
her, like I know her mom, like Maddie was always sharing a bed with her when she
Where
was.
do you come up with this crap? She was debating whether or not Stephen Stern should be charged. No, she wanted him to be fully charged. She just wasn't sure if he had done it yet. Or I mean, I'm not sure where you come up with this stuff. It's wild. She said she wants the book thrown at him. Right, she saw the pictures. So what? I know, we played that. She wasn't sure. Wow, just unbelievable. All right, let's keep going.
Little and stuff up until I know at least, beginning of elementary school. I don't know if it ever stopped or when, but it was grandma. She'd just go and cuddle with her at night, She would do it with Jen all the time. I didn't do that unless it was like a nightmare or something. I remember one time Jen was just checked out at night and tired, and she was just like, here's the kids, and they both laid in bed with me, but...
Was that common for her to do?
No. I can count on one hand how many times she was like, I like, they're crying, and I need some space tonight, and she'd go to the living room, watch TV, and just be by herself, and just be, all right, cool, the kids are with me, and we'll be in bed and just hang out,
So it sounds like you and Jen have communicated frequently since you guys split up because of Maddie.
Pretty often, yeah. I always try and check up on Maddie all the time. Our friendship kind of fizzled out a little bit. We kind of talked a little less here and there as my relationship with my current wife grew. Right. And not because of my wife. Like, they're actually great friends. It was actually my mother-in-law that thought it was weird and started getting mad and stuff, so we started scaling back our friendship for the optics of her family. But
gotcha.
But I would still always check up on Maddie. I talked to her all the time. Whenever Ash was on the phone with her, like, I'd pop over the FaceTime and check on her, like, hey, how's it going, and how's school?
How was Jen, when you would talk to Jen on FaceTime or Maddie or anything like that, what was, like, their demeanor? Was there any point since you left till up to here recently, any kind of demeanor changes between Jennifer or Maddie?
Maddie seemed off for a few years, honestly, and I thought it was just she's going through changes. It's the teenage years coming. It's the puberty. I remember my daughter going through depressive stage. Right at the end of, elementary school, but, that was right at the start of COVID and stuff, so I wasn't sure, like, how much is, like, an equal comparison for a mood change. And to me, like, it seemed normal to, like, my daughter was going through. She went through a massive depression through, middle school, COVID, lots of things going on, so in my head, it was just like, okay, she's going through changes, just keep talking to her, keep getting the two of them to hang out as much as they can online, we'll get down their floors, see each other soon, let's see if we can fly them up, just trying to get more of the family aspect together, and I thought it was teenage years.
Gotcha. How long? You said that was going on for a few years, you think?
Yeah. She's kind of felt like different to talk to since, like, late elementary school. I don't know. Just she seemed different.
Did Jen seem different at all?
I mean, don't you think, Cindy, that she said that she, when she was talking about that she just wasn't sure because she wasn't sure if he really did it? Like, she was looking at the pictures, she says, if you have pictures of his face, they hadn't had sex or something for 2 years, about a year and a half. So maybe she doesn't remember, like, I don't know. I'm just trying to say, like, why do you put in there that you think she said she doesn't know if he should be charged or not after she knows everything that he's done? I could see her thinking something prior when you're not really sure if it's even him or something like that. I think you just kind of hear stuff that you want to hear, It's she was completely in denial the entire last audio that I put out. And thank you, Raw Time Now. Oh, and Cindy earlier.
Jen doesn't seem different. She's just seemed like she's just always trying to figure out what she needs to do with her psychologist to get by, and it feels like her trying to figure that out with a psychologist is always like an experiment. And I feel like she.
Hey Daphne, nobody asked for your commentary on the conversation I was having. You're always doing that, like
She's trying to figure out what to do to get herself here and to be functioning with her mental health issues. But with all the back and forth with doctors, at least in my opinion, it's just always a game of, okay, try this, and so sometimes she gets a little more checked out as they're trying different meds. And I don't feel
Did she ever talk to you about her doctors or any kind of different medication?
I know she's been on different medication over the years. I don't know exactly which ones. I know she's tried different things. She's complained about some that have like knocked her out and make her like super tired.
When did she tell you that?
That she has meds like that. Geez, I've known her for a long time. She's like gone through a lot of back and forth, with meds. I know I can't pinpoint a specific time period on which one.
Your relationship with her?
No, the mental health stuff started to accumulate more during my relationship with her, and that's when I was trying to get her into more therapy and stuff. The understanding where she was with her mental health took some time with psychologists and therapists to figure out, okay, these are her conditions. This is how we can start figuring out certain meds that may work in some capacity. But that was after I had been there that meds started to get figured out by doctors. It was more therapy when I was still in the house, if that makes sense.
Did she ever talk about Jen now? Did she ever talk to you about more recently that any medication has changed or anything like that would like offset her? Or some people, when they change their medication,
I know
everything just changes.
The only thing I know that she said about her medication recently is there's a nighttime one that just knocks her out. So she takes that one at night.
When did she tell you that?
Must be when I've been recently talking to her about this over the past few weeks. Like this, or it's happened all week ago. So we saw online on Monday. Yeah.
So she never mentioned that prior to.
Well, I haven't talked about her meds in a while.
Okay.
This is just recently, because I was like, all right, so what's going on? Like, where's your head been? Like, how much do you remember right now, like, with your meds? And
what did she tell you happened? Right, from, like, the day that Maddie went missing, when did you first hear about it?
My wife saw it online. I'm not on social media, but she saw it immediately. And so I start calling, and anybody I know in Florida, I just say, please send it. Anybody. And then I was like, all right, everybody outside of Florida, if you know somebody in Florida, send it. And I was just on blow up, just anybody I can contact to share the information online she was missing.
When the first time you talked to Jen, what did she say?
I talked to Jen. It was either that I think it was the next day. I think it was Tuesday. I was finally able to get a hold of her. And I was trying to talk to her. I was trying to figure what happened.
All right, guys, I'm pausing the show to ask if you could help to support the channel. That would be great. It helps me, allows me to keep doing these shows and getting these audio files, etc. So if you have the ability to, we're currently only at $24, which is about a tenth of a normal night goal. So if you're out there and you want to continue doing these, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
And she had told me... Sorry, I'm trying to remember.
That's okay.
She had told me that Maddie was missing and that Stefan had taken her to the school, but he had made a bunch of stupid mistakes and he accidentally deleted his phone and what the other thing he said.
Yeah, so she even told him that. See, the fact that Jen told him that Stefan deleted his phone, and like, God, that's kind of stupid. I think she probably was thinking, man, that's a little fishy, trying to tell him that. But if she was part of something, wouldn't she just not say anything at all? Because she would be aware that he was doing that.
He forgot his phone, and Maddie forgot his phone, which didn't surprise me. My daughter forgets her phone all the time. But like him not having his phone, I felt was shocking, because I remember him I always saw him with his phone. He was always unready. He was always typing away at something. But Maddie, like, that didn't surprise me. Like, a teenager forgetting their phone. And So, like, I called them idiots, you know? Like, wait, why the fuck would you do that? Like, now you look more guilty. Like, I thought he was innocent. Like, I thought he was somebody that was protecting Maddie. You know, I thought that they were both, you know, looking out for her. And now I just don't know what to think anymore, you know? But...
Now, was this talking to Jen over the phone or text message? Or
I think this was a phone call I had with them. But they had called. I finally, like, gotten a hold of her because I wanted to hear her voice, to hear her. She sounded like when she said these things, you know?
Now, when you were talking to her over the phone, like you said, you're hearing her voice saying these things. What she was saying...
Hopefully you guys heard what I just said. If you guys could please help support the channel, that'd be great.
Was that kind of like her normal tone or a different tone, or like, how would you describe it?
Thanks, WNC
It
Grant.
sounded like anxious Jen. Like, it sounded like something's wrong, and she couldn't wrap her head around it. Like sometimes she has to take her meds, but you can still, like, tell in her tone sometimes, like, how she is. And, like, I could tell she was a little muted, probably from meds she had to take, but I could tell, like, her anxiety was at 100. If you know, like, even with some mutes, like, once you know a person, you can kind of tell, like, some of their tells a little bit, like, just like their pace and their talking is like, I don't know, you're still, like, amped up. And, like, I could tell she was like that. He was very quiet. Very quiet.
So you talked to him as well?
I was on speaker in the car.
Okay.
And he was there.
If one more person types in he's not Maddie's dad, he's a stepdad is a dad, right? I'm going to delete your comment and you, okay? I'm sick of people keep typing it in over and over and over again, all right? He worded something in here that made me think, wow, he's actually the dad. That's it, okay? He's not the dad, all right? We got it.
At the time, and I had...
Good Lord, people.
And so, like, I asked him, I asked him, but he, like, really didn't say anything. She kept just, like...
What did he say?
He was like, yeah, she was there, and I feel so guilty,
I don't care where they're at.
and I can't believe that I left my phone. And I was like, well, how the fuck would you do that? Like, it's stupid. Like, have your phone, like, wherever you go. Like, it's suspicious immediately, like if you don't have your phone as an adult, like, and he was like, yeah, and then I actually reset it. Like, what the fuck, dude? And that's really all he mentioned. And then Jen, like, reset the same thing and told me that he had dropped her off, and she thought that she had woken up at like 8:20 in the morning, and then Sailor was barking to go to the bathroom or needed to go to the bathroom, so she started to get up, but he said, no, I got it. And he's like, yeah, I was trying to let you rest. And then he went and took the dog out, and then came back and said that, oh, don't worry, I'm taking Maddie to school, and then let her keep resting because she was, like, going through training at a new job, and she was just really tired, and that she had called him up to come help with taking her to school and helping to get the dog and Maddie situated so she can balance the new job she just started. Sorry, I'm trying to remember all the pieces she told me in all that conversation, so it's coming out in random order. What else did she say?
But she told you that she was sleeping, and whatever time it was when she heard the dog barking, she was going to get up to take the dog out, and then, but Stefan took the dog out himself?
Yeah, and Stefan took the dog out himself and told her, no, it's okay, you're tired, don't worry about it. And so she went back to sleep.
Okay. Did she ever mention going the day prior? Maddie had a birthday party.
Yeah.
With Grandma.
Yeah.
Okay. Did Jen tell you why she wasn't there?
I understand it from her that she was just so tired from everything, from work, and I'll admit, going to her family functions could be a little bit overload. She has a lot of family.
Gotcha, okay.
They're very loving. They're very loving people. Don't get me wrong. Like, I love her family to death. Like, her mom, Yolanda, and her dad, Juan, helped me and my daughter, Ash, so much over the years, even after me and Jen split. So, like, love them to death. But sometimes they're overload. And with all her anxiety, sometimes she just can't handle them for a long period of time. So she'll go and do stuff with Maddie, for her birthday. It's happened sometimes. She's gone and done her own thing on a Saturday, and her mom wants to do a big event on a Sunday, and it's just overload for her.
Got it. Okay.
Like, she'll still do stuff with Maddie. It's just sometimes she can't handle the full people, and that would be my guess. I haven't asked her specifically, like, the whole weekend sour, like, asking her about why she didn't go, you know. Maybe I could have asked her. I should have asked her, but...
was Stefan at the party?
I doubt it.
Okay.
Yolanda did not like Stefan.
Yolanda is Jen's mom.
Jen's mom.
Okay.
She didn't
Any
like
idea why?
I want to know why now. I heard that like once over the years that she was a big fan of him, and I was like, oh, maybe it's just a, you know, she didn't like a boyfriend, just, you know, you need time to warm up to him type of deal, and that was it. And now I'm hearing more and more she did not like him, she didn't trust him, and I want to know why. I want to ask her, like, what did you see that I missed? Because I don't want to miss this to another person. You know, somebody else around my daughter. I want to know what traits you see that I couldn't.
So Maddie makes it back to the house. I would say condo, townhome, whatever it may be.
Yeah, the unit.
At some point that evening, Sunday evening, Stefan comes home because Jen asked him to come here to help because she's tired because of the new job.
That's the way I understand it. Yeah.
Have you ever heard of what the dynamic was? There's sleeping arrangements between Jen, Maddie, or Stefan throughout the years?
I honestly have been trying to figure that out myself. I understood that Maddie slept with Jen, and they had one room for a while, so my guess is they all slept in the same bed for a little while. I don't know when, how long, or any of that. Like, that's always bothered me. Maddie sleeping not in her own bed, starting elementary school, like, that to me is just like something a kid needs to do to self-soothe and grow to be individual and not have to rely on another person always being there. So that's always bothered me, and I've tried asking Jen about that over years and trying to encourage her, and it's just an argument. It's just a case that I was like, I'm never going to win, so why am I to keep poking at something?
Did Jen ever mention to you that, you know, she would need to get some sleep, so Maddie would either sleep in her room or sleep in somebody else's room or anything like that?
That happened during our relationship, but it wasn't another room. It was just like, oh, can we put the kids at my mom's tonight so we can have a night off?
Gotcha. Okay.
Because she would just need, like, we just has time to breathe and need space away from the kids. Like, okay, let's see, you know, we can do that, and we try and put them out. But it was different when I was there. Like, nobody slept in the bed with us, unless it was a nightmare. Like, that was my condition, and if she wanted space, then we would coordinate stuff with her family to go watch it.
I just figured out what I did. What was confusing about me. I was actually listening to the Tyler Wallace audio, and in that audio, he explains how they met one time, etc. And then somehow, because I was downloading his files, I opened up the other one, and it started talking about how they got married. All right, because I'm just listening on my other computer, the audio, and that's exactly what I was listening to. So that's where the confusion came from. I kind of overlapped two different people. Amazingly, they just happen to both be the different fathers. So, anyways, here we go.
I don't know what conversations you've had with Ashlyn since this has all happened.
Oh, and thank you, Kim DiMaggio. Appreciate the recordings. Wish more people had that feeling.
Has Ashlyn confided into?
I've asked her a lot of questions, not try to be too pointed, but hopefully to get some stuff. Asked her, like, did he ever try and spend alone time with you, or try and just, like, hang out with you and Maddie alone when Jen wasn't around? Did Maddie ever talk about him, you know, specifically? Did she ever say anything positive or negative? But was there at any point in time she wanted to specifically talk about him, like, in any way? Did you ever see a mood change? And they're talking about it, and she was like, yeah, like the past couple years, she's been like, they almost like stopped playing games because Maddie was just like destroying her stuff on Minecraft, and it was frustrating my daughter, and she was like, I'm done playing with her. And then I guess like a few months ago, she just started playing nice and started playing better. And so, like, I'm trying to think about this with the timeline. I'm trying to remember. I was like, is this when Jen kicked Stefan out of the house?
When was that?
I'm trying to remember when they separated. I'm trying to figure that date. Was that a few months ago? Is that when Maddie started lightening up and started feeling better and stopped being destructive to everybody around her? And did she start feeling like she could push back on this guy, you know, after being gone for a few months, and then this happened, and
so that's all Ashlyn said really is
she doesn't remember anything.
In the last couple of months, she just noticed a little bit of a demeanor change.
Yeah, she was playing a little better online, and she was acting a little nicer.
How did Ashlyn and Maddie communicate?
They text every day.
Like text message through the phone, Snapchat, IG?
No, my daughter doesn't have Instagram. She has Discord.
What's her name on Discord?
I'd have to look it up. Give me a second. If I have service in here. I'm sure you'll see it on Maddie's as well. She did try and message her after all this just to see if she was online, was able to pop up. So, well, one of the recent hays is from my daughter. I'll have to download it. Give me a second.
Do you know if anybody else communicated with Maddie through Discord, like Jen, Stefan, any of Jen's family or anything like that?
This other boy, Tyler, he's the same age as Ash. They were in second grade together and been friends ever since. I think they've met each other in person maybe a couple times at Ash's birthday parties.
Okay.
But they typically just play online. He lives up in Deltona. But yeah, they've been playing together online for like 3 years now. Minecraft and stuff together. Maddie, Ash, and Tyler.
Has Maddie ever tell you or Ashlyn or anybody that she had a boyfriend or anything like that?
No, and we've talked to Tristan, Tyler's mom, as well, just to see like if they think he knows or said. But he says like, I really rarely ever talked to her unless Ash was present. Like they weren't that close. Like Maddie and Tyler were that close of friends to really talk one-on-one. But like anything I've thought of to ask Ash.
Do you know if Stefan uses Discord?
I'm sure he does. I don't know what it is, but it wouldn't surprise me if he did. I know he used Reddit. Wouldn't surprise me if he had multiple accounts with how often he was on it type deal.
Like, I know very limited stuff about Reddit. So I know Reddit is like forums that you can look at stuff or whatever. Any idea like what kind of forums he would be part of?
I only know now because his username's been put online, and I've looked through it. I didn't know beforehand.
What's his username?
Give me 1 second. I'll pull it up for you. Yeah, there's some. He's been on recently on Ask Teens over the past month. I saw. Sorry, I've had a lot of text messages recently.
That's okay.
That's his username on Reddit. At least his public one. I'm still trying to see if I can have friends find any alternates that he has. Because most consistent Reddit users have at least 2 or 3. At least in my experience. I'm sure you guys use way more than me, so you guys may know more about that. But
so if that's his username, you can see what forums he's part of.
You can see the ones he's posted in, just like all the places he's made comments and stuff. He has like 6.5 years of history, it looks like. The past month, like it's all like gaming stuff. You can see the progression over time. Like I saw a picture of him 6 years ago at my house playing tabletop games, like a picture of the board that we were playing on, like adult board games and guns, and then Nerf guns and Tamagotchis and just more childish stuff. You can see the way he talks starts to change online. There's more emojis. His gender starts to become more generic and stuff. It's like you can see like there's a warp in the way he acts online over these. It's weird, like seeing this change, and then now it's all. And then like the past month, you can see like Ask Teens.
Ask Teens, that porn Ask Teens?
No, it's just like teens could ask questions about life, and there was even one. Where is it? Sorry, I don't know if you guys already looked through this or not. Or I'm sure you guys have another team who probably does all the IT stuff, or I don't know. Yeah, there was one that was a girl was asking about being pregnant and what to do, and he responded on it, and it freaked me the fuck out. Like this, I'm pregnant, and I don't know what to do, and him responding.
Sorry, I gotta zoom in.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Greatest.
I'll let you read that, Mark.
Yeah.
I want to go back a little bit.
Yeah.
When you were with Jen,
Mm-hmm.
I know you had said back then she wasn't on medication for her mental health, and that was
Not
kind of building up.
Yeah, not that I recall her being on meds.
Was Maddie on any medication back then?
No, not that I recall.
No.
I think the only person on meds was my daughter for ADD.
Okay. Do you know if Maddie has ever been on medication?
I don't.
You don't. Okay. Do you know if she's been diagnosed with anything?
I heard she was previously diagnosed with autism, but
Okay.
I thought I also heard she was retested, and they said she only had autistic traits, but is not autistic.
You know when that would have been?
Within the past few years. I think Jen told me when I talked to her earlier this month in February that's when she told me, I think that's when she told me that she wasn't showing, or she only had traits, and she was no longer diagnosed. It was ADD. Oh, I think she had ADD.
Okay.
And she had to take meds for that.
Hey, thank you, Rachel B. Yeah, that's so weird what happened. I don't know. Maybe that's COVID brain from before, but I was listening to this whole interview with the biological father, and then somehow the other father's audio got put in there, and that's why it was confusing to me earlier. I was like, wait a minute, his wife answers the phone, but now she's not there. I just had no bearing of where I was. But anyways, it doesn't really matter to me. All I want to know are the factual elements that the parents are saying, things that they've noticed, etc. Knowing the family tree isn't helpful in the case whatsoever. All right.
Sorry, there's so many kids.
Overload.
I have so many nieces and nephews and cousins, and it's so many kids to keep track of. I have to call my daughter to see if she remembers, because I know they would talk about the medications.
When
and
you
stuff.
guys were together, you don't specifically.
Oh, and thank you to Michelle H. for gifting a membership. Welcome, Penny Gaylord. Rachel B. Raw Time Now. GSU PM. Lisa Valenzuela. And Kim DiMaggio. And Thelma. And Cheryl McDonald. I'm trying to get the audio ready for the biological father. That'd probably be good to play next.
Remember her being on medication.
Not that I recall, other than like when she was sick type meds.
Right. Okay.
What does that mean? Bio dad should have. I mean, what are you talking about? Okay, I mean, yeah, sure, but you know how it works in the courts, right, Linda Jane? Guys don't get custody, you know. Yeah, it's just the way it is. So he didn't have custody. He says he was trying to get custody, though, if you can believe that. Yeah, I mean, the audio. I can turn the audio way up like that, or I can have it like that. Okay.
How was your and Maddie's relationship? Was she pretty outgoing with you? Was she more reserved?
Was so bubbly. I always describe she was a Sour Patch Kid. She was always a little sour before she was sweet, but you have to get through that little bit of sour with her, that little bit of attitude. Like every picture of her you see, like she was a little hip hop. She was just like, it's always a little she had like this face too. She could stare across her like, what are you doing? Do you have ice cream? I know you have ice cream. Like she's had this way about her that she could like pierce into you and make you question what you're doing for a second. Like, hold on, what? Okay, I'll share with you, kid. You're cute, you know. And she was a brilliant kid, and she was smart in many ways, bullheaded and all the rest.
People spend their time looking for other people to be mad at. It's wild. Really wild stuff.
I wish. I tried. When he first came in the picture for the first couple years, I remember I asked her all the time because I lived here in Florida. I was like, "Hey, how is he? How's Stefan? Is he treating you nice? Is he good to your mom? Just want to check on him." And yeah, I can go back if you need to look at any of those.
Nah, that's fine.
But yeah.
Do you know if she was pretty open with your daughter?
I feel like she was. I thought she was. I was hoping that the two of them had each other, so if anything ever happened, then they know they could talk to the other, and then somehow it would get to one of us parents so we could navigate it. That was my goal, was them to be sisters. To have the other person always confide in that's somewhere else. So, hey, they're not in the same shit you're in. They can help you get out if something's wrong. And that's what I always wanted them to have. But
have you asked your daughter if she's had these type of conversations with Maddie back then?
I've asked my daughter if semi-pointed questions without being too direct on it.
But what are you talking about, Linda? He didn't have custody, so how could he have been there to protect? He's not in the house. I don't get it.
Any of this stuff, just like I said before, did Stefan ever try and hang out with you two one-on-one? Did Maddie ever talk about him specifically? But nothing. If I had gotten anything, I would have called you guys. I want anybody responsible for this. To be.
I mean, look at. I think everybody, any reasonable-minded person, knows that having a intact family of a mother, father, and children in a loving family is the best outcome for all people. But it usually turns out when, if a woman has a baby out of marriage, she gets to have custody of it, and the man is kind of left out in the dark, and he was in the military. It sounds like I've listened to some of it earlier. That's why I was kind of confused at the whole thing. It sounded like he actually cared. The biological father did. Okay, so I'm not really sure why people are throwing blame on the biological father or even the stepdad or anybody. It's just it's bizarro world, weird stuff.
To have the justice.
Stefan Stearns is the monster here, everybody. That's it.
Served. No matter who it is, I want them to be taken care of.
How would you describe Jennifer and Maddie's relationship?
They were really close. They were really loving. Jen sometimes could be distant depending on where she was at with her mental state, but she was always there for Maddie. Sometimes she would, check out.
Yeah, all single. My mom raised 3 kids by herself. My biological father was a pile. He went off and he was a great artist, but he wasn't around. It's just the way things are sometimes, Linda Jane. In this case, this dad seemed like he actually wanted to be. You know what? Forget it. I'm not going to waste my time talking to you.
It's the right word, but she just would be an overload, and she would just ask her mom to take care of Maddie. But she really did love Maddie, and she really did care about her and Ash, and really tried to take care.
Yes, M22, that's exactly how mine is. My biological dad was bad, and my stepdad was great. And he still is. He's still out there.
Care of them, at least I thought. I just think she's just had so many mental issues that it caused lapses that caused this. If that makes any sense.
This is a difficult question, but it has to be asked, and it's asked to other people as well. Do you think Jen had anything to do, or do you think she had knowledge of what was happening to Maddie?
I've been trying to ask myself that ever since I found out Stefan was arrested, and I thought that he was, somebody that was there to protect Maddie. And honestly, I think she could have made enough don't say stupid decisions, but wrong decisions with timing meds and things like that this kind of stuff could have happened, but I don't think there's any way she would have deliberately known, or if she had known, wouldn't have tried to get her out. Yeah.
Wow, you guys. Doesn't that speak volumes right there? Hadn't heard this yet. But you have an ex-husband who didn't throw, even though he's upset, did not throw Jennifer under the bus. He said that he doesn't see any way that she would ever do that. And so that's the truth, you guys. That's why the detectives have found absolutely nothing. Now, you can go watch the Idiot Bear channel. You can go watch these other dipshits out there. They're going to sell to you over and over and over again that Jennifer was involved, and she did she was involved, and she let it happen and did all that kind of crap for views and subs. And I'm not going to do that. Now, if it turns out that somewhere down the line there's any sliver of information that shows that she knew, then I'll agree with you guys. But nobody found a damn thing at this point. All right? Good Lord. It's like just it's mind-boggling. All right, so we're going to rewind a little bit because apparently KK can't hear at the time.
Issues that it caused lapses that caused this. Issues that did Stefan ever try and hang out with you two one-on-one? Did Maddie ever talk about him specifically? But nothing. Like, if I had gotten anything, I would have called you guys. Like, I want anybody responsible for this to have the justice served, no matter who it is. I want them to be.
Hey, Adita Gonzalez, I'm going to interrupt it as many times as I want to, okay? Now, what I usually do is I do a show where we talk about it, and then the next day I put it out there for you to listen to uninterrupted, as I've done every single time. So if you actually love this channel, you'd know that I do that on every single one of these. So you just kind of gave it away that you don't really actually pay attention to what's going on the channel. All right, let's go. I will rewind it again because we got interrupted by Adita.
Did Stefan ever try and hang out with you two one-on-one? Did Maddie ever talk about him specifically? But nothing. Like, if I had gotten anything, I would have called you guys. Like, I want anybody responsible for this to have the justice served, no matter who it is. I want them to be taken care of.
How would you describe Jennifer and Maddie's relationship?
They were really close. They were really loving. Jen sometimes could be.
I mean, you heard that, right, you guys? You guys heard that, right? Let's just do it again for all the naysayers out there who don't seem to be able to hear.
Did Stefan ever try and hang out with you two one-on-one? Did Maddie ever talk about him specifically? But nothing. Like, if I had gotten anything, I would have called you guys. Like, I want anybody responsible for this to have the justice served, no matter who it is. I want them to be taken care of.
How would you describe Jennifer and Maddie's relationship?
They were really close. They were really loving. Jen sometimes could be distant depending on where she was at with her mental state, but she was always there for Maddie. Sometimes she would, I don't check out's the right word, but she just would be an overload, and she would just ask her mom to take care of Maddie. But she really did love Maddie, and she really did care about her and Ash, and really tried to take care of them. At least I thought. I just think she's just had so many mental issues that it caused lapses that caused this. Does that make any sense?
This is a difficult question, but it has to be asked, and it's asked of other people as well. Do you think Jen had anything to do, or do you think she had knowledge?
Here it is right here. This is it right here.
What was happening to Maddie?
I've been trying to ask myself that ever since I found out Stefan was arrested, and I thought that he was, somebody that was there to protect Maddie. And honestly, I think she could have made enough, I don't say stupid decisions, but wrong decisions with timing meds and things like that this kind of stuff could have happened, but I don't think there's any way she would have deliberately known, or if she had known, wouldn't have tried to get her out, of that situation. Like, she has family she can go to. She has friends like me and other places that she knows she can go to another state to escape someone.
Can I get a boom? See, you guys? Now we have a detective and her ex-husband saying the same thing. That doesn't mean she didn't know, though, Gray. She could have just been lying. Oh, God, here we go.
I felt like if she really felt like she was a danger, she would have gotten out.
That's a...
Who do you think she would confide in?
I thought it would have been Ash. I thought it would have been Ash. I was hoping that those two would have a close-up relationship, that if something happened to one, they could tell the other. Because everybody needs someone like that.
Yeah, I mean, I do the live shows in the evening to interact and give you my thoughts. Some people actually appreciate my thoughts. I've been covering true crime cases a lot longer than some of the people that you guys all go, ooh. That's why we're correct on this show all the damn time. We have it all figured out by using the facts of the cases, and we nail this shit down, all right? Now, I notice that all the people that do all the crazy conspiracy bullshit, fake, a fake sort of upset, they show that, oh, look at the, making these faces every time somebody says something, and you guys all love it and suck it all in. And I think it sucks, But I've been doing this for now about 7 years on these live streams, and I know what the hell I'm doing, all right? Now, I always say, if a factual piece of information comes out, I go with that. So if something changes later, there's a little email that was hidden somewhere that she says, yeah, go for it, Stefan. Yeah, something weird shit like that. Then I will absolutely change my mind. But there has been nothing so far. Every single bit is explained by the fact that Stefan Stearns is a predator, one of the worst that you'll ever see. He is a barbarian, and he groomed Jennifer and Maddie. Probably started with Jennifer, got access to Maddie, groomed Maddie into not saying anything. And then over time, Jennifer's, even though she had feelings like, man, I shouldn't really do this, she had trust for him because he made it that way. That's what these guys do, all right? Now, Jennifer, being mentally, has like 4 mental diagnoses with all kinds of medications she takes. It makes it so she's particularly vulnerable to somebody like Stefan Stearns. Now, this commentary right here doesn't put me on court TV, right? Because they want the, oh man, that Jennifer, like that kind of stuff. I'm not one of those people. All right? I've been on court TV many times for this case, but I'm always at odds with that topic when people start throwing that out because I don't see it the way they do. And you know why? Because it's the truth. It's factual information. But all the other channels out there, I'm the only one that's talking like this. And they do that because that's where the, quote, money is, everybody. That's where everybody gets so excited. Yeah, we're gonna keep bashing Jennifer. Like, we had 600 people a minute ago. Now we have 557 because 35 of those losers left because they want to go watch the ones that are going to be trashing Jennifer over and over and over again. Okay? And there is no information currently. If it ever shows up, I'll change my mind. But we've got 4 months after these interviews, they said, we don't believe she knew. Just like the stepdad said right there. All right? Anyways. Now I'm going to get back to the audio for those who want to listen to it. But I've been doing these shows for a long time. I do commentary. I give you my thoughts on cases. And it usually turns out pretty damn accurate, okay?
How is your daughter taking it?
She's been broken. She's just been... It's kind of felt like the journey I've been on. It just felt like the first 5 days was just solid crying, and now it's just feeling numb. Like there's no tears left. It's not that we're not sad. It's just feel empty.
I know when this was all first going down and Stefan got arrested, that you and Jen had conversations about securing an attorney for him and stuff like that.
I thought he was innocent. And I was hoping that, okay, we can get this guy cleared so we can find the right person, then that way it will help everything run smoother. So let's get all the ducks in a row. Let's get him. And like I remember him on the phone. He was like, "I'm on my phone." I was like, "Don't worry about the phone. Like, they have it. It's there. So we can buy you another one. You know, it's not a big deal. What you need to do is let them go through it, do what they need to do, so we know you're clear, and that way they could find who this really was." And that's what, because I thought that he was there to protect her too.
But he was asking for his phone.
Look at that, you guys. Stephen Stearns tricked this guy also. See, that's Stephen Stearns, man. He is a monster, okay? Sitting there, yeah, even an ex-husband, a guy that probably has instincts to protect, and he absolutely tricked him too.
They say why?
I think he meant something like he wanted to check his packages. Like, he was always obsessed with buying shit. Always has buying shit. I didn't quite understand that. Like, it threw me off, and I should have questioned it more in that moment when he said it, but I was just in such a frazzle, just like, no, we got to find out who did this. Like, if you're not it, let's get you a lawyer so we can make sure everything is done correctly, and then they can move on to find whoever that is. And then, like, once I found it was him, it was just like, I fucking defended this guy. I thought that he was there for her. Like, I would not have tried to defend this guy if I knew in any way, shape, or form that he was in any way culpable. I feel like an idiot. What point did that change
for you?
Which,
where you went from, hey, they might have the wrong guy, let's get him an attorney, to F this guy?
Once I found out that they found all the stuff on his phone. Okay. Once that came out, I'm like, what the like, I was surprised.
How did you hear about, was it through the media or was it through Jen?
A combination of they both about came in at the same time. I think Jen was in questioning at that time. I wasn't able to talk to her for too much around then. No, I think she had messaged me before I saw it on the media that he was arrested, because she was in shock that she had seen it and was told about it.
Do you think it was genuine? Her being in shock?
I can never read somebody through text. Texts are emotionless. It's like, I can try and say I can read an emotion, but it's just text. I was a talker at the time.
I have her doing that because she was in denial, Joy, and on meds, and just kind of like, you know, that's what she did. What does it mean to you? Why does it mean that she knew when she said that? It's wild. Yeah, people just can't get over it. Listen, you're wrong, okay? That's it.
Like, in person, it's like, that's why I need to see people's faces. I need to hear their voice, see their pace to get a better idea. A text is just words on a page. But she just seemed to...
This is edited out.
And she was trying to figure out, like, what degree should this guy be punished, and I was like, do it. Like, whatever if he committed a crime. And
all right, guys, we're at 40% of the goal tonight. So if you like the way I do the channel and the way I cover stuff, if you could please help support the channel, send a message on a super chat. We'll put it on the screen. You can say what you want. I am not wrong, Susan Bennett. You are incorrect factually. You are not correct. You are naive, I think is a better term. Look up how these guys work, and you'll probably change your mind. But you can't now because you're too vested.
Asking you to press charges, press the charges, do it. And yes, she had told me before I saw it on the news, because she was asking me, like, yes, press the charges, do it. Like, don't question yourself right now. He committed a crime. You let them press the charges. You let the police do what they need to do. So yeah, I did find out before the news.
No, she wasn't checked out.
Did Jen ever tell you about
she wasn't
looking
checked
for
out,
Maddie or anything like that?
You're wrong.
I asked Monday.
I know your other
and
favorite
Tuesday numerous times, because
but...
I have family in the area and friends in the area that are all willing to come out and help search. And I kept asking. I was like, I can fly out. When can I come out? And she was saying nothing's organized yet. When I tried to talk to family members, they didn't have anything organized yet. And then eventually I saw that, I think it was Orange County, requested that nobody be searching the area because they, my guess is they don't want people disturbing areas they want to investigate.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I need to wait. I can't go and help search. And that was, I remember I kept asking the first few days, like, can we come out and search? I have family members can help search. Like, is there any organized parties that are happening? And yeah, she just seemed in utter shock, and she couldn't wrap her head around it.
You seem like you lived in Kissimmee for a little bit, or Kissimmee, Orlando area for a little bit.
Yep.
Ever live in St. Cloud or anything like that?
No.
Does Jen or Stefan have any connections to St. Cloud that you know of?
Not that.
Man, I tell you what, my public service announcements to help raise funds for the channel seem to be falling on deaf ears quite a bit. All right, this is how we are able to keep doing these shows on a nightly basis. When you do these shows like this, there's no ad revenue when it's all said and done on the live streams. You guys are the sole source of income on these live streams, okay? So if you can, that'd be great. Thank you.
I know of.
I know you've been gone for a little bit, but...
who are you talking to, Joy?
The only thing I know that might be down, because we were trying to look up stuff in the area when they're trying to find the bodies, was found there's a Warhammer store down there. I know who's really into Warhammer. Mm-hmm. That's in a very expensive game. So I don't know if he's familiar with that store. That's the only thing that I can think of. It. I don't know personally that he went there. It was just a guess that we were trying to look to see if something was associated with them.
Right, that's it. Nobody agrees with me, so I don't get... that's exactly right. That's exactly right. Susan Bennett said, no one agrees with you, hence you don't get money. And that's what I do feel like. If I was more like, that Jennifer, yeah, all the psychos would be sending in super chats. So how about all the rational-minded people help support the channel instead? Wouldn't that be great? Yeah.
All right.
Did he ever disclose anything to you? Maybe not specifically about Maddie or anything, but being into certain things?
No, I was trying to think too if there's anything about sex we ever talked about or relationships or anything like that. The only thing I ever heard is from other. But that's all like secondhand. I have no validity to it. I can't validate anything. It's just secondhand something I heard. So,
and you heard this when?
Recently.
Like when this is going on, or like prior?
I don't care if they think I'm weird. There's cases like when I covered Delphi, Richard Allen. I believe he's guilty, and I'll say that he's guilty because there's evidence, massive amounts of evidence. Brian Kohberger, when I covered Kohberger's case, and I go through the probable cause document, he is guilty as hell. This guy did it. He did it 100%. And that's because it's filled with factual information that point directly to Brian Kohberger. This case here has zero pointing to Jennifer other than you people wanting her to be guilty of something. That's it. If you look up and see how these guys act, the type of mothers they choose, etc., you'll probably be ashamed of your opinion after you read exactly. This is a classic case, okay? Jen's lack of enough emotions are nothing more than medication shot. Yeah, that flat affect she has is she's just absolutely deluged with medications. All right.
Like when this is going on.
And thank you, Penny Gaylord.
I didn't know this beforehand. This is all, yeah.
When was the last time you talked to Jen?
Thank you, Sarah67.
Yesterday.
Yeah. I think I texted her earlier today to check on her.
In what context?
Just checking on her, seeing how they're doing. I still feel like her family is really close to me. Like her dad, Juan, and Yolanda have done a lot for me and Ashlyn over the years, even after we split up and divorced. So, like, I'm still trying to go over and help Juan out to get his apartment.
Yeah, that's exactly right. What Linda Howell just typed in. I'm blaming the monster until any evidence comes out against Jennifer Soto. She was not a good mom, but unstable mentally. Yeah, and then you could even debate, like, if you could have an argument with Zozo, like, how do we say that, she has a mental problem and on drugs, and so I guess that would mean, like, technically if you analyze what she was doing, she wasn't a good mom, but is it her fault that she didn't fit into what we say is a good mom, right? Like, some people up above said she checked out mentally, etc. I don't agree with that she checked out mentally. I think she probably had a lot to deal with her own mind sometimes. Just you know, I mean, I used to have anxiety attacks when I was younger, and those things are debilitating. It was after my brother died, so I had a lot of, like, I'd just be sitting there, because I have an irregular heartbeat anyways. My brother died from something related to his heart, so I'd be sitting around just thinking, oh, just total panic attacks, you know, just like, and you can't breathe, and you just want to fall down, on, you're just like, it's horrendous. And you really can't deal with anybody else's problems during that time when you're feeling that sense of anxiety. There's absolutely nothing else in the world matters other than you trying to get yourself back to not going down that rabbit hole. You see what I'm saying? So, Jen might be sort of like that. Hey, thank you very much, Chris Sparks and Mo66. well, thank you. And man, I tell you what, if anything comes out that shows that she knew and was willingly doing this stuff, oh man, I'll do show after show and just nail that crap in. But I really, really doubt we'll ever find something like that. And that's because it doesn't exist, because she didn't know. Yeah, it's horrendous. It's horrendous.
Settled and trying to be there for Yolanda if she needs anything. I do worry about Jen and her mental health, and if she had nothing to do with this, then I want to be there for her. If she has something to do with this, then take care of her. Like, do what you need to do.
That's
I'm not here to defend somebody who's
395.
guilty. Anybody that hurt Maddie in any capacity, I want you to please do your job. Ask me anything you need to know.
Do you think Jen had anything to do with it?
I don't think so.
Yeah, good for you, M22.
I don't think so.
Suck.
I think she's just gone through a lot, and because of her mental health, it just caused lapses that ended up with this.
Right.
Do you think...
Let me rewind that a little.
You need to do. I'm not here to...
Connections to St. Cloud? That you know of?
Not that I know of.
I know you've been gone for a little bit, but...
The only thing I know that might be down, because we were trying to look up stuff in the area when they're trying to find the bodies, we found there's a Warhammer store down there. I know he was really into Warhammer.
Warhammer.
And that's a very expensive game. So I don't know if he's familiar with that store. That's the only thing that I can think of. But I don't know personally that he went there. It was just a guess that we were trying to look to see if something was associated with them.
Jelly. That's the thing. That's what they do.
Did he ever disclose anything to you? Maybe not specifically about Maddie or anything, but being into certain things.
Thanks,
No,
Heather.
I was trying to think too if there's anything about sex we ever talked about or relationships or anything like that. The only thing I ever heard is from other. But that's all secondhand. I have no validity to it. I can't validate anything. It's just secondhand something I heard. So.
And you heard this when?
Recently.
When this is going on, or prior to?
When this is going on. Okay. I've heard this from people. I didn't know this beforehand. This is all, yeah.
When was the last time you talked to Jen?
Yesterday.
Yesterday?
Yeah. I think I texted her earlier today just check on her.
In what context?
Just checking on her, see how they're doing. I still feel
Kamala,
like her family
Mary?
is really close to me. Her dad, Juan,
no doubt.
and Yolanda have done a lot for me and Ashlyn over the years, even after we split up and divorced. So, I'm still trying to go over and help Juan out to get his apartment settled. I'm trying to be there for Yolanda if she needs anything. I do worry about Jen and her mental health, and, if she had nothing to do with this, then I want to be there for her. If she has something to do with this, then take care of her. Do what you need to do. I'm not here to defend somebody who's guilty. Anybody that hurt Maddie in any capacity, I want you to please do your job. Ask me anything you need to know.
Do you think Jen had anything to do with it?
I don't think so.
No, this is... Okay, so here it goes. Do you think Jen had anything to do with it? He said, I don't think so. This is the stepdad. The one that she was actually married to and knows her way better than the bio dad does.
You need to do. I'm not here to defend somebody who's guilty. Anybody that hurt Maddie in any capacity, I want you to please do your job. Ask me anything you need to know.
Do you think Jen had anything to do with it?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. I think she's just gone through a lot, and because of her mental health, it just caused lapses that ended up with this.
Do you think Stefan would take advantage of Jen because of her mental health?
Oh, for sure.
Like, was her mental health diminishing? Well, you said it was kind of diminishing when you guys were together. That's one of the reasons you possibly split. Do you think when Stefan got together with her that she continued to degress or progress with her mental health? Or
It seemed to keep degressing, and not a psychologist, I don't know why that happens. You know, I try and look stuff up, but I'm an armchair expert, so
What do you mean, Just Anoki? I don't know what you're responding to.
You know, it seems like mental health, you know, gets worse in your 30s. Yeah, maybe it's that. Maybe but I'm not a psychologist. I have no idea. I'm just a plumber who
so
loves a lot of people.
Bucks, then.
He was with her from like 2015 to 17, and they were married, something like that.
Not yet. Trying to build a company. We're almost breaking even.
How would you describe her emotions on a normal basis?
Jen or Maddie? Jen. She kind of seems a little muted most days. She's.
By the way, will you guys hit that like button for me, please? We've only got 320 likes. That's ridiculous. I know why, Gray, says Bennett. You don't agree with the rest of us wackos.
A lot's happened to her. A lot of things have happened to her. That's been hard for. That'd be hard for anybody to live with, and sometimes she gets excited about things. You know, she definitely gets sad about things. She doesn't seem as outward with her emotions. You have to like look at her, but you can see like inside, like sometimes she's torn and she's damaged, but the medications make it so you can't see it, and like she doesn't show it as much as like another person would sometimes. But like when you know her, you can see it inside of her. You can see how destroyed she is. You can see how anxious she is. You know, she sometimes looks calm, and it's just one of those things. Like once you know somebody for so,
this guy's absolutely. Probably was a godsend for Jennifer, because this guy knew her for years and years and years. You know, he's known her for many years and has seen her over the years too. But he's even saying, see that look on her face, that calm look, that's just the way she is. You know, he's explaining it. And this guy could have just thrown her under the bus if he wanted to, and he didn't do it. I know, it actually seems like he actually cares about her, you know. They were married for a while. He cares. He really loved Madeline. And he loves Madeline. He wants somebody punished for this, but he's not throwing Jennifer under the bus. How come this isn't convincing some of you people out there, especially after the other night, when we had the detective saying they can't find anything, then they do not believe that she was aware, and then you've got this guy. How come it's not affecting you? Why do you keep going with it? Hey, Jan, who are you talking to? Nobody's talking to you. I'm not talking to you. I don't know who's talking to you.
Along, like you could tell some stuff about them. But
do you think her reactions have been genuine?
I think so. I think she's just like really medicating herself right now to get through it, and therefore she's really seeming really numb right now. But yeah, I keep seeing her break down and how sad she's been, and I feel it's legitimate, but I don't know if it's my own personal involvement with Maddie and my.
Hey, thank you. Is it Asloven or Asloven? Thank you.
Love for her that I don't think anybody else of that could have that capability of not loving Maddie. You know, maybe it's my own naivety, but my heart doesn't tell me that. But again, not a professional.
I know we touched on it a little bit, but have you known any medications that Maddie's on?
After we were talking about it, I think she may have.
I want to hear that last bit again. What do you
She
think?
definitely gets sad about things. She doesn't seem as outward with her emotions. You have to like look at her, but you can see like inside, like sometimes she's torn and she's damaged, but the medications make it so you can't see it, and Like, she doesn't show
we've
it as
said
much
that.
as like another person would sometimes. But like when you know her, you can see it inside of
Yeah, we've said this on this show multiple times, that fell on deaf ears to the hate-filled, hate mongers out there.
her. You can see how destroyed she is. You can see how anxious she is. She sometimes looks calm. And it's just one of those things, like, once you know somebody for so long, like, you could tell some stuff about them. But
Do you think her reactions have been genuine?
I think so. I think she's just, like, really medicating herself right now to get through it, and therefore she's really seeming really numb right now. But yeah, I keep seeing her break down and how sad she's been, and I feel it's legitimate, but I don't know if it's my own personal involvement with Maddie and my love for her, that I don't think anybody else of that could have that capability of not loving Maddie. Maybe it's my own naivety, but
Right, but he's just trying to. He's trying to give a little bit like, well, you guys are the experts, but that's my opinion, right?
my heart doesn't tell me that. But
And guess what? After he gave it to the experts, what did they come up with 4 months later? That they can find no involvement, and they do not believe that she was aware that Stephen Stearns was doing the things that he was doing.
again, not a professional.
I know we touched on it a little bit, but have you known any medications that Maddie's on?
After we were talking about it, I think she was diagnosed with ADD and may have been on ADD med, but I don't know for certain.
Okay.
I can't swear under any oath that I know she was on
Right.
the meds.
But you did say that medication that Jen's been taking has caused her to go into a deep sleep or something like that, or
Yeah, I think sometimes I don't know exactly which meds will knock her out, but I know I've been on meds before that made me completely knock out and pass out for the night, and use the time them for bedtime just to make sure after all the parenting hours are done, gotta take it then. And I don't know which one she's been on and when, but I've been on medications like that for depression before, and sometimes they just knock you out. You can't help the medication. If that's what the doctor says is going to help you. You try and work with the doctor so you can get better. And
How long are you staying down here for?
my wife and daughter are going to be flying back on Thursday. I'm going to help clear out some of the apartment on Thursday. I'll be flying on Friday. If you guys need to talk to me, have my phone number. Let me know. If there's anything you want me to ask my daughter, I really don't want her to get brought in to get questions.
Understandable.
I don't want her to get too scarred. But if you guys have questions you would like me to ask her, and I can try to approach her in a soft way, I'd be happy to help in any way I can. I just want to make sure I'm not scarring her anymore.
Let me ask you this: does your daughter? Does she see any kind of therapist or anything like that on a regular basis?
Just before all this, we got her an occupational therapist, and we just got her started with a main therapist, with a EAP 10-session program. And so that's where we're trying to get her back on Thursday, because her first appointment's on Friday. But yeah, we're trying to
Does her therapist know what's going on?
She is aware of what's going on. Social work at school is aware of what's on. And then her occupational therapist is aware, just so they all know before she steps in.
Yeah, you guys look at it. I think we have one new channel member tonight. Who's going to go out there? For some reason I can't gift. YouTube's working on it for me. I do not know why, but I can't gift channel memberships. But if you guys could gift channel memberships out there, that'd be great. Hey, thanks GSUPM. F the trolls, good night. Well, thank you.
And, everything.
Are they on board if she discloses something to them, to that law enforcement, or
Yeah, if there's something pertaining to this case that she finds out or they find out, I want them to be able to share it.
Because I know they can't share information with us because it's a patient-client.
I could talk to the therapist beforehand and ask them, hey, if you find out anything about this front, we need to contact some people so they can get the right information over. Is
that's between you and the therapist? We can't get involved in that,
right? But is that what you're asking?
If she happens to mention something during therapy and that is told to you, can you just please let me know?
Yes. Okay. Yes. If there's anything pertaining to this that will help out, I will definitely let you guys know. Again, if anybody is part of this, I want justice to be served.
Anything else, do you? All right, we are going. It is 3:13. We are going to conclude this out here.
All right, that one's over. Hey, sorry about your back injury, Mortician Man. I've had back. I had a back thing one time. Man, that was brutal. Jesus, I was just turning a light switch on and went, oh, you know, it felt like somebody took a sledgehammer, hit it into my back, and couldn't breathe. But you know, now, but what you do is you get one of those inversion tables, everybody. Yeah, we know Murph. We know that was a stepdad. Yeah, that was stepdad. We're about ready to put the... Hey, Plato, thank you. Now, what do you guys want to do? I want to listen to the guy next on here. He's the one that he saw Stephen Stearns with the flat tire. Do you want to listen to him? Let me do a poll here. Let's do a poll. Hold on. Flat tire man or... All right. Okay, which one do you want to do next? Flat tire man or bio dad? I kind of want to listen to the flat tire man myself. And maybe after that. And they also interviewed the same guy I interviewed, Frank. Isn't that amazing? One of my 4 interviews that I did with friends or people that knew him. All right, well, let's do the flat tire man. It's coming up. It's after this one. So there's a dead air. And then like 5 seconds later, it should kick in or so. There we go.
Are we taking you out of work?
Nah, I work for myself. So
Oh, okay. So you take your own breaks.
It was a poll, not for you to type it in.
All right, the time or the date is March 4th.
It was a poll, not for you to type in. Did you see the poll up there? It's now closed.
2024. The time is 3:09 p.m. We are at the Kissimmee Police Department in reference to case number 24001896. Person present are myself, Detective Morris, Detective Smallwood, and what's your first name?
Thomas.
Thomas?
Yes, sir.
And last name?
Carris, Carris.
What's your phone number? And your address? All right, before we start, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear and affirm that the statement you're about to give is the truth, nothing but the truth, to the best of your knowledge, so help you God?
Yes, sir. So help me God.
All right, perfect. Put your hand down. All right, so we've talked a little bit on the phone that you called in information about a current investigation that the police are working. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. When you made that call, why did you call the police? Let me ask you that.
So I know I gave my information of what I saw that day to Crime Line.
Okay.
And they told me it was too vague.
Okay.
And so that's when I went out and took pictures of where I saw him.
How did you know that's what you were looking for?
I saw your guys' post
Okay.
that morning of the car and his face.
Okay.
Hey, thank you, Green-Eyed Pie. Why did Jen make the Woody Allen comment if she didn't have a clue? Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I think it's just something she was worried about because she was taught. Remember when she said when she was taught that, hey, you never let a guy do this, but she believed in her trust for him over that. But I think that was something that she thought in her mind. But yeah, I mean, it's a good question. That's one of the things that you look at and go, that's kind of a weird one, but.
Okay.
And the car, where the spare tire was and everything like that, the spare tire was on the same exact side of that car and everything. It was a Lincoln that I passed on Hickory Tree. There's not much traffic that goes on in Hickory Tree, but there is, more picking up right now.
She said her biggest fear was that something like Woody Allen would happen, that maybe, when her daughter grew up, she would go with him or something. That doesn't mean that she knew something was going on. it means that she worried about that. Like, oh, you know, maybe she'll grow up and he'll go, you know, and then something will happen then. I don't know, you know. Now, she said it in one of the interviews. That's all it is. Hey, thanks, Sunday Doodles. And welcome, Wash Ashore Beauty.
So when I saw him on the side there, I kind of like was like, whatever. Like, you know, that's a kind of convenient spot to break down, you know, because it's like kind of like in a driveway, you know, but it kind of sucks that you're kind of in the middle of nowhere, you know.
Right.
But I called that into Crime Line, and they told me that I didn't have the license plate of his car because he was facing me, going towards Harmony.
Okay.
And I was going away from Harmony, going towards St. Cloud on Hickory Tree.
Okay.
Old Hickory Tree, I'm sorry.
But here's the thing. She said the Woody Allen comment like February 28th or March 1st, and 4 months later, the detectives determined that she had no idea Seven Stearns was doing this.
So I called that into Crime Line. They told me I didn't have his license plate number and I didn't have his address exactly of where he was. So it was too vague and thank you, but have a good day. And they hung up on me. So that's when I went and took the pictures of where I saw him. When I came back, Osceola and St. Cloud were starting their...
No, I'm eating a gin. They're so good. Little ginger candies. Gins. Amazing.
Their search right off of Nolte and Old Hickory Tree near the mobile and the construction site, and there's an abandoned house on the left. So I pulled over, and, you know, there's traffic going, you know, everyone's slowing down, but I flagged one of the sergeants over. He came over, and I showed him the picture of where I saw him. And I showed him, like, I could show you the pictures too. It's the red shipping container, because that's the best way I could explain it, because there's no mailbox, there's no address. So the red shipping container is like where he was parked in front of that, you know, that area. So he sent me down to the abandoned school that's on Old Hickory Tree. They do, I guess, their police training there for the past year. So he sent me into the second parking lot where I spoke to an investigator named Donna. I don't remember her last name, but I'm pretty sure it started with a C.
Sita?
That sounds about right. And I airdropped her the photos. And then an hour later, they were at that same exact spot saying this is where they found her.
Okay. All right. So you're from St. Cloud.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to, I don't want to assume, but are you familiar with the St. Cloud area?
Yes, sir.
Have you grown up there and stuff
sir.
like that?
Yes.
Okay. So you know Old Hickory Tree goes from, say, 192, where it passes Nolte, all the way back to 192.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I just lived off the corner of Old Hickory Tree with my ex-fiance for the past 2 years now.
Okay.
So I lived a little bit past the fire station on that corner right there.
So you said you were coming from
Harmony.
St. Cloud, the Harmony side.
Yeah, the Harmony side from Harmony coming back.
So it'd be going north.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Eventually it'd be going north.
It goes south for a bit, but then it loops back around to going north.
Okay. So when you come upon this guy changing his tire, okay, is as you're going north, is he on the left side of the road or right side of the road? Left side of the road. Okay. And you also mentioned there was a red shipping container. Was that shipping container close to the road, or?
It's in my opinion, it's more in the middle of the field, on the left-hand side of which we was parked.
That doesn't make any sense. So why did he say he was heading north? Hold on, let me go back.
Be going north.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Eventually be going north.
It goes south for a bit, but then it loops back around to going north.
Okay. So when you come upon this guy changing his tire, okay, is as you're going north, is he on the left side of the road or right side of the road? Left side of the road.
How could he be on the left side of the road? It's over here is where the car was.
Okay, and you also mentioned there was a red shipping container. Was that shipping container close to the road, or?
It's in my opinion, it's more in the middle.
That's right here. That's the shipping container. Why did they say was he actually walking over here at that time? What is he talking about?
Middle of the field, on the left-hand side of which we was parked.
Okay, so it says the left-hand side we was parked. That would be like this. See, he's describing going south, okay? I'm not sure why they're saying he's going north, and they said he came from over here, so it makes sense that he was going south. So whatever that was worded there was totally off. He was heading south, and from his perspective was on the left side of the road, as with the red container here. See how they didn't say that correctly in there? I just told you what they said, Sarah. I heard that part too.
Be going north.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Eventually, be going north.
It goes south for a bit, but then loops back around to going north.
Yeah. Okay. So like south for a bit, and then loops around to the north. Where? Like over here to the north? But he said he was heading north. That's what he said.
Okay. So when you come upon this guy changing his tire, okay, is as you're going north.
See, he said as you're going north to him, right? That's what he said to him.
Is he on the left side of the road or right side of the road? Left side of the road.
Okay, that's over here.
And you also mentioned there was a red shipping container.
That's
was that
over
shipping
here.
container close to the road, or
It's in my opinion, it's more in the middle of the field, on the left-hand side of which he was parked.
Okay, the left-hand side of which he was parked. So that means he's saying it's like that. So somebody's saying it wrong. That means he went this way. He was heading south. Stearns was on the left, just as he said. And then it was left of where he was parked was where the red shipping container was. Okay, so that's incorrect. Not that it matters at all, but
So I came around the corner, and there's another little curve, and then it's a little straightaway that we were on. Okay, that's where I saw him. He was by his driver door at that time, and he had a hat like mine but backwards, but it was like a yellowish, greenish, brown color, like light yellow, light green, brown.
do you remember what color shirt he was wearing?
Black.
Okay.
I want to say he had blue jeans on, but I don't have much description of the jeans or the like shoes, because when I got up to him, there was another car coming out on his side, coming towards us. He had a tire iron in his hand. There was no jack out.
the investigators found her body.
That I could see. There was no other tire out that I could see. The spare tire was already on the car, and he had a tire iron out. And by then, and as I'm passing him, he squats down at the back rear tire where the spare tire's on with the tire iron. And as he squats, he looks up, and we make eye contact as I drive by him.
Okay.
Wow.
And that's kind of how I knew it was him, because I had to.
Right, Sarah? I know it was worded poorly, but I think he was heading south. I think he was holding the piece of paper upside down when he was talking.
Slow down just because we're on a 2-lane road.
Okay.
And I want to say the speed limit there is like 50, so I slowed down to about 40. When I passed him. So yeah, the eye contact is what really did it for me. Not only the silver car with the spare tire exactly where it was, but the eye contact.
Okay. This is not the scale. So this is going to be Hickory Tree Road. So say the middle of the road. This is going to be going north the way you were traveling. Okay. There's little driveways that go each way, both into cattle fields or whatever. Okay.
Well, this side has bamboo. This is the side of bamboo where they found her.
Okay.
I took pictures facing towards this way because that's where I saw him.
So I'm going to draw your car here. That's going to show you driving north. Okay. So just draw a square where his car was parked. Okay, and the front of his car is going to be on this side or that side? Okay. Now, can you draw an X where you saw him standing? Okay. And are you saying the spare tire was on this side, or that's where you saw him?
He was there right next to the spare tire.
Okay, was the spare tire
already on the car?
Spare tire was already on the car.
On the car. There's no other tire here. There's no jack to put up or jack stands to put under the car. He was just standing there with a tire iron. Well, kneeled down. He kneeled down by that point of me passing him, and looks at me. He has a tire iron in his hand too. Okay.
Okay. Was his trunk open or closed?
Closed. I didn't see anybody else in the vehicle either. So this kind of just left my mind until a few days later until I saw the picture of him, and then you guys, I have the time from when I texted a client to, because he was on Alligator Lake. That's why I was heading this way.
Okay.
I just left Harmony to go to Alligator Lake, because it was at 1:20 when I texted him that I am 20 minutes away. I'm leaving, like, not that I'm leaving Harmony, but I am 20 minutes away.
Okay.
So, like, when I saw the time frame of what you guys gave from 1:10 to 1:35, I'm like, this was definitely him.
Okay, what time? So, if you... Actually...
Yeah, he was heading south. Look. So he's over here at Harmony, going to Alligator Lake. So that means he's going this direction. Right? And now, however he got to the lake, I don't know, but he's not going north. I don't know what... I think he's got a piece of paper out and he's holding it like this. And he's showing it to him like that. They have it upside down. There's no other explanation.
Get rid of this. Can you just initial up here for me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like this guy basically solved the case. I don't know if they ever would have found Madeline if he didn't see that guy, see him pulled over. Because that's such a random spot, And
the date, which would be the 4th.
Today is
3.
Yeah.
So, all right. So you're saying you're leaving the Harmony area to go to a client's house on Alligator Lake, which is north of where this is.
Yes, sir.
You saw him. Okay. So, what time do you think you passed when he was changing his tire?
So when I texted the client that I'm 20 minutes away.
Like, where were you when you texted this client?
I was in Harmony.
Okay.
And I was about to turn onto 192, or not about to turn onto 192, but I was coming the wrong way through Harmony. And I was like, okay, I meant to stop at the gas station, so I went back through Harmony, stopped at the Sunoco there. And when I left the Sunoco is when I saw him. Okay. That Monday. So the Sunoco is right there in front of Harmony High School.
Okay.
Wow.
So I can go back and kind of try to see what time I was at the Sunoco.
No, we'll worry about that.
Okay.
Did you get gas there, or just go inside to get
I
something?
want to say I got a hot dog and like a beer for later.
We saw him there too?
But you went inside to get that stuff?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Remember what you were wearing?
Right
I mean, I can pick you out from a...
I want to say I was wearing a bright green shirt with this cap.
All right, so you left that Sunoco, went down to Hickory Tree. That's when you got on Hickory Tree to go north. Or
Okay, see, this is what I'm saying. This guy's got it all backwards. That's got to put this in the right spot. So here's the Sunco, flat tire witness. So he was there, right by that high school there, and
to go to your next client.
Yes, sir. I turned at the light, got on
192.
Got on 192, then hopped onto Hickory Tree going back.
Okay, so when you come out,
yeah, see, he goes right here on the Hickory Tree, then he goes this direction, and drives around, and then he's heading south when he passes there, right? Jesus, man.
at Sunoco, to get to Hickory Tree, turn right or left?
You turn left.
Okay, and then how do you turn on the Hickory Tree from there?
You have to turn into the turning lane, and then you have to cross back over 192, like that are going.
So you're making another left.
Yes.
Got
yes.
it. Okay. All right. So when you pass this guy, you come down to a set of officers. You see officers hanging out there as you're.
No, there's no officers there.
When did you find this search? Oh, so Wednesday is the one when you saw.
Wednesday morning. No, it had to been when you guys were doing your search on Friday, because I had my son with me. I get my son on the weekends, so I had my son with me, and I want to say Friday morning is when I saw the post about the car and the picture of him, and that's when my heart sunk and I realized who it was. So when I called Crime Line, they hung up on me, told me too vague. Put my son inside the car seat, and then my friend lives right over on the corner from me, so I picked him up to come with me to go take pictures and So I would say Friday. I have timestamps on my phone, says 3:45, 3:46.
Okay.
And then when I came back through is when I gave the photos.
Okay. So when you talked to Donna, obviously you provided a statement to her as well. I think she said she talked to you for a little bit.
She did talk to me, but I didn't write anything down for them.
Okay, that's fine.
The most she got was my first, last name, and my phone number.
Okay. But you airdropped the pictures of this area where you saw this guy.
Yes, I still have the three photos on my phone.
Is there any way that you could email me those photos?
Yeah.
You live by Deer Run?
Not anymore. I live off of Narcoossee now.
Is that the fire station you were referring to?
Yes. So when they were asking me questions about where exactly this is at, they're like, is it before Deer Run? Is it before Nolte? And I'm like, way after.
But and you knew that because you're familiar with that area.
Yeah. I grew up in this area, and I've been going back and forth now. I've been doing work in Harmony for the past 3 to 4 years, mowing grass. I'm sorry, what's your email?
It's Mark, MARK, .Morris, MORRIS, @Kissimmee.gov.
How you spell Kissimmee?
KISSIMMEE.
Okay. Kissimmee.gov?
Gov, yeah. And I'm pretty sure Donna told me she already had the pictures and she was going to do what they do with them, but just so I have a record of them as well.
I got a couple questions.
Yeah.
Thomas, when you were driving by him, I know you said you slowed down a little bit.
Yes, sir.
It didn't come to a complete stop?
No, sir. There was no sense to. I did have the thought in my head about asking him if he needed help changing his tire, but there was no other spare tire. There was no jack. He just had the tire iron, and plus the new tire was on the car. So I'm like, man's got it.
Exactly.
And
how would you describe the way he looked? Did he look flustered, normal?
More, it had this scared face to him. Like it was just, and like the eyes, just more like a sadness to his eyes, So, like I said, nothing about it made it seem off to me. Just passing him, he seemed like.
Stephen Stearns always has a sad look on his face, doesn't he? I mean, it's not like if you see him, your first thing you're like, wow, that guy looks sad. Doesn't matter if he's sad or not. It looks like he's sad. He's got resting sad face.
Somebody that just broke down, So, but then after later remembering everything, I'm like, no, he didn't even have spare tire, no jack, no car stand, like little car stands to be able to put the car down, anything like that. So that got me.
But he did have a spare tire. He put one on.
Me too. So now it kind of just replays that she might have been in that trunk as I passed, and it also replays that she was right behind me.
Well, it could have been in the trunk, but she could have also. I would think that the moment he pulls over, his first thing that he did was move her body before he jacked up anything, because everybody knows when you have a jacked up tire, people stop sometimes. Hey, do you need any help? Or a police officer might have come by. So the first thing you would have done would have been to dispose of Maddie's body, then go back and jack the car up.
When I'm taking the photos of the storage container saying he was parked right here, I did just email the.
Okay, perfect.
Was he only by the car when you saw him?
Yeah, he was only by the car. They're saying address not found.
Oh, you put 3 M's.
Oh.
Yeah, I do. I've said that even on Court TV. I said the flat tire is what dictated where he pulled over. He found a spot, and that's why she's so close to the road. He just didn't have time to do anything else. He put her there. He was driving on rims at that point, or the rim of that one tire, or wheel anyways, and he put her body there. I mean, it's that simple.
Oh no. My bad.
What'd you ask?
If he was only by the car?
Yes, sir. I only saw him by the car. There was another vehicle approaching us.
All right, guys, we're at 60% of the goal tonight. So if you're out there and you can help support the channel, leave a comment in a super chat, and we'll put it up on the screen. Okay? Thank you.
on his side going towards Harmony. And I believe that was a black, newer Expedition. But I'm not too sure between the Expeditions and the Explorers, or the Explorers actually is what you guys drive. So it was an Expedition because it was like a 4-door, bigger box truck, you know.
Okay.
I know you said the trunk was closed. Were any of the other doors open?
No, I only saw him open his, well, not open it, but I saw him close his driver door. So I don't know if he exactly just got
Man, this guy must have been driving 2 miles an hour. He sure saw a lot.
out there whenever I made that turn or not. But I saw him close his driver door when I was approaching him, and he was walking towards the back of the car, and by the time I got to him, he was kneeling and looking at me when I was driving by him.
Okay. And I'm pretty sure you already said it, but I'll ask again. Did you see anyone else with him?
No, sir. I didn't see anybody inside the vehicle. I didn't really get a good look.
We don't know. I just told you. We don't know if he had Madeline. She was in the trunk when he drove there. He had a flat tire. He didn't want to be pulled over by a cop or anything like that. So he likely went on a back road over here. He was driving on a rim. He pulls over, immediately took Madeline out of the trunk of the vehicle and put her behind the bamboo shoots. In fact, this is what I think he did right here. I'll show you. He was right here. This is where he had the flat tire. Then he looks that way, and he looks that way, and you notice how you can see a car right there? Well, he wouldn't have left at that point. So he was looking at cars. You could see him from way over here driving. So he knew nobody was coming. And around, you can see it around this corner over there. So at that point, he looked and waited, grabbed Maddie out of the trunk, and ran right over here. Now, if this gate was locked, he threw her over the fence. If it wasn't locked, as we've heard, then he walked around, and then he went over here, back here, and he put her body in the bamboo shoots right here in this location. We were the first channel to show you where the crime scene was, right here. And it was right in this location. And then after he put her body there and covered her with branches, he likely kind of, from behind the bush even, I would say, from over here, he looked over there like that and kind of waited to see if a car would go by. And then he kind of walked his way out a little bit and looked this way, and then he sprinted across when there was no vehicles, and then he started working on his car as if it was just there. I know, I just said that, LYP. I said if it was open or not. We've heard it was open. One of the detectives said it wasn't. Okay, so we're going with that. You don't need to think you're the expert and correct everything. I just told you a second ago that, yes, it's possible that it was locked too, as we've heard, right? So that's when he said it. That's all you do. You just go with that. Thanks, S. Devon and Marksy. All right. So after that, he looked there and he just sprinted across the street and started working on the car. And that's when this guy drove by. I guarantee you that her body, or very likely that her body was not in the trunk when that guy drove by. I think it's very unlikely. That would have been the first thing that he did when he pulled over. Yeah. Anyways.
Look in the windows, but I did not see anybody else like their head or anything like that inside the window.
So nobody outside with him either?
No, none of that either.
Did you see anybody walk in either on either side, coming north or south from where he was?
I'm sorry. No. From north or south, there was nobody walking. I didn't see anybody with him. He was just by himself. He really looked like somebody that was kind of changing his tire, but kind of just finished.
Don't care if you're familiar with the case. We're all just as familiar as you are. I guarantee it. I went through every single bit of the probable cause document and every single ping of the phone, every single camera, every single everything. We've got it all.
Up, but again, kind of also looks like he just got there because that front door.
All right. Everything else? All right, so we're going to get somebody else to come in here and show you these pictures. So give us a minute. I'll be right back, okay?
All right.
They just brought people out and they started looking, and she's right there. Right next to the road is where I mean, look how it wouldn't have been hard to find her. They tried to head fake people and had a base over here, and everybody thought, oh, they're over there, they're over there, they're over there. You know, it was way farther away. And it was just right here. There was a helicopter going around, and when I was watching the helicopter footage, I noticed two people walk over here like this, and they glanced into these bushes. And then one of the shots, you could actually see, believe it or not, the jeans, just barely the blue of the jeans in there. It was crazy. So then I knew, okay, that's the spot. Wow. And then that's where you start theorizing, okay? And then this is where the vehicle was spotted. And that came out later. We found this first. Then later we heard that a person saw that he was pulled over on the side of the road next to a box car like that. And there it was. That's the spot right there.
I guess last question. Did he appear, his clothes, what state would you say? Normal, dirty, clean? Remember anything specific about that?
He was wearing a black shirt. So with the black shirt that he was wearing inside his mugshot was like the...
No, LYP Andino, you're the one that's rude. I already said that we've heard that the gate was open, and you have to jump in. The gate was open! Okay? Don't be rude. Don't come into a show and pretend that you're the all-knowing everything when we've been covering it since the beginning, and I guarantee you that the freaks on this channel know it just as well or better than you do. All right? There you go.
Closest I could say that I looked at the material, so I don't know if he even changed his clothes like when it came to that mugshot and that, or if he just re-wore a short if he has multiple of the shirts. So he didn't look dirty. He didn't look like he just walked through anything. He didn't have any stickers all over him. I didn't see any of that.
Could you tell if he was sweaty or anything like that? Or
he kind of looked like he just got out of his car, where I couldn't say that because, I don't know if he has AC in his car, but, he didn't have a jacket on, he had these jeans, so, yeah, I'm sorry.
Man, they sure did a lot of interviewing on this guy.
For just trailing.
That's okay. So you only saw the spare tire that's on his car. You didn't see an additional, the original tire that would be on it?
There was no original tire that would be on it, and there was no car jack, no car stand or anything like that. Just what he was using to change the tire was the iron. It was like a 4.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, but give us 1 second.
What do you make of this guy, man? What do you make of this guy? Why was he driving around right there? He must be part of it, man. He's got to... What an idiot. So just so you know, everybody, the last account that just made their comment was created, guess when, everybody? Today. So you got the trolls, man. The trolls show up. Nice try, Donna. Nice try. Nice try. We know. We get you. We get you.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm okay.
Oh, yeah. So this is the interview with... Actually, I think this is the one. Wait, no, hold on.
Alright, so... Alright.
I don't know what
So
this
I'm going
is.
to do a photo lineup, okay?
Oh, okay.
I have some instructions
Same
to
guy.
read to you, okay? Alright. So, you're going to be asked to view a group of photos of individuals, okay? It is just as important to clear, if you want to read it as well, clear innocent persons from suspicion as to identify guilty parties. The person of interest may or may not be in this photo lineup, and the photos are not in any particular order. Okay? I do not know whether the person being investigated is included in the group. Individuals presented in the photo group may not appear exactly as they did on the day of the incident because features such as head and facial hair are subject to change. You should not feel like you have to make an identification. If you do identify someone, I will have you designate the photograph of the person you have identified. Regardless of whether you make the identification, we will continue to investigate the incident. The photos will be shown to you simultaneously and are not in any particular order. Take as much time as you need to examine the photos. Since this is an ongoing investigation, you should not discuss the identification procedures or results. Okay? You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So I'm going to have you initial right here. Okay? Thank you. And so I'm going to leave this pen with you. You can circle the page. Okay? I'm going to go out there. So you can take as much time as you need. Okay? Whenever you're ready, you can knock on the door and let me know that you're ready. Okay?
Thank you.
All right. Let's not.
Thank you, Patricia Galindo. He's doing better. He's doing better.
Awesome.
We just started the antibiotics today.
All right, so the photo lineup I was shown consisted of how many photos?
6.
Go ahead and write that.
Okay, so here's what we'll do. We got, after this one, we'll listen to Frank, and then we'll play the audio of the bio dad, and that'll be it, but that's going to be another like hour and something. All right, so all right, guys, we're almost, let's see, we're about 70% of the goal. See if we can get there.
Were you able to identify them?
The one person, yeah, I don't know who the people were.
Okay, so just check mark there. Make a check mark.
Frank was a friend of his. He's one of the ones I interviewed about, gosh, I don't know, 6 months ago probably.
Yep. Okay. And then what number was it? Okay. And this is the person who did what? Or that you saw what?
That means somebody came in the door.
Am I able to go over to, or no?
Yeah, that's okay. Just put it on the side. That's all right.
Full type 1 out of 40, clear 10-12 for 1094.
Okay.
What day was last Monday?
Clear 10-12 for 1094.
Mm-hmm. 26. Okay. And then your signature right here.
I'm just going to move it to the guy.
Date is March 6, 2024.
Here we go. This is Frank. Oh, God, look at Chloe.
Time is 9:06 a.m.
Chloe.
You're at...
Look at Chloe. She's like a... It's just hilarious.
At 2... What was the address? So, I'm sure you're aware of the reason why we're here. We're doing an investigation of the death of a young lady named Madeline.
He has that little bump in his back. That's like 2 vertebrae that have some kind of infection, perhaps, and that's why he's in pain. So we got him on antibiotics right now.
So,
oh yeah, I found out real late in the game. So I only found out like 3-4 days ago.
Gotcha.
I was just sitting in the back smoking a cigarette, going through Google News, and then all of a sudden that popped up. Like, holy shit. I would have never expected a day in my life to do something like that.
Right.
He like, what other, I have heard other people come out, talk on these interviews on YouTube. What they say, how they know Stefan, was completely different how I knew Stefan.
So how did you know Stefan?
I met him like 3 years ago. I got into a game called Warhammer.
Okay.
And it was just like you painted models and like things like that.
Don't you guys remember this guy? One of the guys I interviewed? If you haven't seen it, you should go back and watch where, it should be in the playlist somewhere, where there's 4 different squares on the screen, but it's 4 different people that I interviewed. And it's like, I think, an hour and a half long, but you can hear all their different comments. Chase, who lived with Stefan Stearns and had a roommate, and that roommate said that he found a folder that Stefan Stearns kept on a network inside the house that had images of his girlfriend on it, and also CSAM material. And then Stefan Stearns' mother paid, that guy wasn't, he was poor, and so the mother paid, that's what he says anyways, paid that guy to keep him quiet. So the mother, potentially, you know, if that story is true, it sounds like it is, because Stefan Stearns did the exact same thing in the current house filming one of the roommates, right? So, you know, but if that's true, then you would think that, man, that this all could have been nipped in the bud years ago.
Laid them on the table.
Right.
And I got along with him right away. And I was like, okay. And he smoked a little weed, so I was like, okay, someone I can smoke a little weed with and hang out with and play some of this game with and bullshit with. So, and he didn't seem like weird. He never gave me those vibes at all. But like things recently, you know, things he said like clicked in my brain. Like, you know, they weren't together, so I don't understand why they're saying they're boyfriend girlfriend. They weren't in a relationship. He moved back here because they had broken up.
When did he move back here?
He moved back here like 4 months ago. He wasn't living there, so he went there to visit for something. Like even before they were together, he would go there periodically. This has to be. He moved there 2 years ago, so that would be 2022. So 2021, he would go there like once a month, twice a month. He would go up there and go visit Jen and kiss me.
When's the last time you saw him down here?
I actually hung out with him. When did this happen? What date? Like
beginning of last week.
Beginning of last week. So I guess maybe a weekend or two before he came out with us. I introduced him to 2 friends. We went to Dean's downtown to Punta Gorda, hung out. Everything was cool. Even my 2 friends liked him. So that was the last time I seen him. And then I was wondering why I haven't heard from him, because usually he would come here or hang out.
Did he talk about Jen or?
Yeah, he talked about Jen decently. Yeah, but he talked about that. He was talking about that girl more recently, like towards this happening. So it's like he was more upset that because they created such a strong bond. Now I know what that strong bond meant.
So he would talk more about Jen's daughter. Matt, what would he say about her?
Nothing. Just like he felt bad for her and they supposedly still had contact in between of them, like him not living there anymore.
Gotcha.
And supposedly when he lived there 2 years ago, because I kept contact with Stefan, he had visited one time. They were broken up within like the first 6 months of him living there. So he was living at the house with them when they were not in a relationship. So,
did he say why he would go back and visit?
He would go back to visit Jen and the daughter. So.
How would he refer to Jen's daughter? By name, just by
my girlfriend's daughter, Madeline, stepdaughter, sometimes things like that.
And how did he describe his relationship with her?
It was a strong bond. They had a strong bond.
Okay. How did he describe his relationship with Jen?
Didn't really describe the relationship they ever had. Okay. Honestly, they were just a couple.
Gotcha. Where was he living when he was down here?
His parents.
With his parents' house?
Yeah, I've only been there one time. We weren't really allowed there.
Why not?
I don't know. His mom bred poodles, so the house is packed with dogs.
Right.
And I went there, been there one time, and his room was a disaster. Like it was like unkept. I mean, I was like, whoa, this
Is that the type of person he is? Is he kind of like a messy person, or?
He didn't seem like that to me, because I mean, all those Warhammer things, that was like complete organization. So for the room to be like that was like a throw off. Like, well, why is it like there's soda cans and candy everywhere? And it's like, I mean, I know he took Adderall, so I mean, he was up all times of the hours. He wouldn't wake up every day until like 4:30, 5 o'clock, maybe 5:30 every single day, which is always weird to me because dude's almost 40, doesn't work, but has money to buy all these expensive Warhammer things.
Do you know where he gets his money from?
That I don't know. I always wondered where the heck he get. I mean, maybe I thought he was maybe good at saving money, but like, I mean, how could someone save that much money that they have enough money for 3 years? You know, so.
Now you mentioned he was taking Adderall. Was it typical from the time during the time that you've known him to be up all night?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. When he came back, he lost a lot of weight. So.
Any idea what other medicine he was taking?
Ativan, and I recently added Lunesta, and I don't know because I read a couple documents on there, and I don't know if the letter category F means the girl was unconscious or anything, but in recent days, he talked about how strong that sleeping medicine was and how safe it was. So,
and does he take that medication, or is he saying?
I don't know if he takes his sleeping medicine. That I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, that I don't know.
Ah, that's interesting that he said, wow, this is really strong and it's really safe. So he's probably using that sleeping medicine to knock out Madeline. Doesn't that make sense? That's crazy.
No, I've never even seen. I know he takes the Adderall. I've never seen him take the Ativan either. But I know he takes the Adderall. I've seen him take that.
Got it. Did when he lived down here, when they were split up, did he have a girlfriend or anything like that down here? Was he dating anybody, seeing anybody, or
no?
Okay, we'll catch him again.
So what is this Warhammer? We've heard this a couple different times. I understand it's some type of game.
Yeah, it's a game.
And everyone keeps saying it's expensive.
It's real expensive.
What is it?
I got out of it because of how expensive it is.
Okay, explain to us what expensive is.
I mean, dude, it cost me a couple $1,000s within. I mean, like 6 months. It cost me at least $2,000 with the play that thing. So he had 3 whole armies.
Thank you, Cheryl Bullock.
So, I mean, you're talking, you only need 2,000 points to play one game, so 2,000 points equals how much, like, what the character is. So the character could be 3 points, 5 points, you know, things like that, 10 points, 30 points, 50 points. He had 2 full armies that were 4,000 points plus.
Okay.
So just those alone, paints, characters, everything to put that together, man, that's real expensive.
Okay, and
it wasn't working.
Does Warhammer have, like, kind of its own community?
Yeah, everyone, even I was talking to a couple guys from it, and they're like, what the hell, you know? There.
And where would these communities be on? Like Reddit, Discord?
I don't do any of that. So I met guy. I had commented on a Facebook post that I saw, like for a comic shop, and then somebody messaged me. And he's like, hey, you want to come check it out and like learn about it? And I was like, cool, all right. And that's when I met Stefan. He was already there playing at the shop.
Okay. Do you have Reddit?
No.
Do you have Discord?
No.
Do you know Stefan to have those things?
Stefan has Reddit, for sure.
Yeah? What makes you say that?
He used to always tell me to go on Warhammer, like the Warhammer things, and go check for Reddit and stuff like that and Discords.
Okay. Explain to us what Discord is.
I mean, to me, on Xbox I have it, but it's like you can find people to play like we have used it to find people to play Call of Duty, like Warzone. Sorry. So you can like find people to join in the chat with you, depending on how many players. Like you can go to like different chats in like 3P, 4P, so you can get 4 players, 2 players, 2 players, and then someone random would hop in there and say, hey, I'm ready, I'll play a game with you, and then you, okay, cool, and then you start up a match. That's the only instance I know that stuff for.
Okay, do you know anyone that would know if he has a Discord?
No. I don't know, because I don't even know any. I only know Stefan. I don't know if Stefan even has any other friends like that.
Okay, I didn't know if you had mutual friends from here.
No, I mean, the only other two guys is the guy who invited me to Warhammer, and the other guy that he's supposedly recently with. I mean, I don't want to say names because I don't know if they want to be like me and dad or anything like that and bothered. You know, one kid, his mom is like really sick with cancer, so I don't want to get But I talked to him recently, and I mean, I was the only one Stefan told for like a really long time that he was even back. So, but
Why would he keep that secret?
I don't know. I always found that weird. But I really want to go play Warhammer and see all those guys again.
Have you ever met Jen?
Twice on FaceTime.
And what was the context of?
Stefan was just talking to her. He was here. We were playing Warhammer. Then he just took a break, talked to her, and that was really it.
Okay. During those, do you remember when that was?
Oh, that was before he moved there. So he moved there like 2022 around that time. So I don't know, maybe within 6 months. 8 to 6 months, 6 to 8 months prior, I guess.
And I think I already asked it, but did he tell you what kind of relationship him and Jen had? Was it a good relationship, or?
I mean, if he was moving there, I guess, because they were doing like long distance and stuff like that. So I mean, I guess it was pretty good. I guess.
Now it seems like you're pretty good friends with Stefan. So, did he ever have any kind of sexual conversation with you, like, "Hey, this chick's hot," or anything like that?
Never.
Not just. I'm not talking.
You know what I think is, I wonder if they're kind of really questioning this guy a little bit extra, wondering if the game, online gaming places, does that have anything to do with, does he sell these images somewhere? I actually really believe that Stefan Stearns sold and traded images on Telegram. And that's why he was on there at 11:49 the same night. So here, look how weird this timing is, you guys. So Sunday night, he comes home from the party at 8:30-ish, or he gets there right after Maddie does. And then Jen gets home at 10:30, and then they get sent up to bed right around 11. And 49 minutes later, he's on Telegram, a site known, it's used by a lot of people, but it's also known to be used by predators. Why was he on a Telegram at 11:49 that night? Pretty crazy.
Not just kids. I'm just talking about.
No. That never. Definitely not that, because I would have lost my mind. So, he would have never been allowed in this house, ever. I don't condone that behavior.
Even if he made comments like that about adult females?
He didn't at all. That's what I'm saying. Never. We were at Dean's, and older woman, a cougar or whatever, came up and was 100% hitting on him, and he was single at that.
God, this guy repeated the exact same line to me. He said the exact same thing. You guys remember that? He said a cougar was hitting on him. Oh my God, that's crazy. Exact same line.
That time, and I was like, you should go for that.
Yeah, he told me you should hit that.
And he showed zero interest.
Yeah.
I was always.
So he already told me the story. That's why he's telling this guy that. Because earlier on he said, "Oh, I've seen it on YouTube and stuff like that." I had already interviewed him.
Look, that threw me off a little bit, but now it doesn't throw me off because of what's transpired.
But he didn't talk to you about the relationship him and Jen had?
No, they didn't. He just told, last time I talked to him, I said, "How's it?"
Like I always say on here, if you can't afford to send in super chats or you're struggling, do not send super chats in. If you can afford it and you want to help support what we do over here, then that's great. Awesome. I'm trying to mitigate the super chat lowering because of the inflation and economy. What's funny is the interest rate today dropped to 2% or something. But what they don't really tell you is that the interest rate is compounded. So after all this time, that's really equivalent to the interest rate still rising by about 6% if you go back in time to when when it had a meteoric rise, right? So 2% is based on the new level. So 2% of 1,000 is $200, right? or $20, but 2% of $500 is $1. You get what I'm saying?
Going over there, oh, we broke up.
So it went up $2 instead of $1.
So that was very weird to me. Like, why would you want to live in a place where you and the person aren't any longer in a romantic relationship for? But now it makes sense why he was staying there.
Did he ever talk to you? Did he ever tell you why he would go visit Jen?
Yeah, to go see Jen and the kid. You know, he was there all the time. And he built a relationship with him.
When he said that they had split up but he was still living there, did he tell you how that living arrangement was?
How about 6%?
I'd like to say he told me there was an extra bedroom.
Okay.
You know, I'm pretty sure that's what he said. I don't know the apartment, so I don't know what it looks like in there, but I'm pretty sure that's what he said to me. I don't think he would have been staying on the couch. You know, that would have really made no sense to me, but I'm pretty sure he said there was an extra bedroom in there.
Okay, did Jen ever come visit him down here? Do you know?
No, she never came down here. No. But she definitely provided him Adderall. That I know. She definitely, when he would run out, she definitely once or twice has provided him with Adderall. So.
Did he ever mention if Jen had any roommates or anything like that?
No. I've never.
I don't know where we got the cute dog bed. Some freak out there sent us the pink dog bed and a blue dog bed, and they've never come forward to say, hey, I am the one that bought those. Okay? I don't know who bought the dog beds. They're the best dog beds in the world. They absolutely love those things. Is he still eating that thing, or what's he doing over there? He's just still hoping for another little morsel. Just, hey, can I have another? Is there another piece I can find somewhere? Is it down there? Is it down there? I don't think so. How about over there? Oh, wait. No, that's my Johnson.
Heard anything. He didn't really explain much of anything. Just that he was going out with this girl, that they had broken up within like 6 months of him moving in there, and then he still lived there until, you know, roughly 3-4 months ago. And he moved back to his parents.
Okay. And you said the last time you actually spoke with him was when?
Like a weekend or two before this actually happened. So
now, was that via text or?
I can actually look it up right now. It's not on my phone from him, but I was talking to my buddy Duke.
Yeah, but I want to know who bought him.
It was weird. It's like the first time I've seen Stephanie socialize outside of the game.
Yeah. I was like, you know what? Let me see if Stephanie wants. Like, only thing I know Stephanie was socializing was coming to this house.
Look at that
and
sad
playing
face
some
Blue
card
has
games
on
and stuff like that, or going to the comic shop.
Yeah, it was surprising when I went.
Yeah.
Watch out, Loki.
Okay. So, what date was February 18th? Was a Sunday, right? I'm pretty sure. Let me check. Yeah. So I hung out with him February 17th.
That was a Sunday or Saturday?
That was a Saturday, because February 18th was a Sunday.
Well, they hung out just 9 days before.
When's the last time you guys conversed over the phone, or how would you guys talk? Via text, phone calls, Snapchat, or whatever?
Text.
Okay.
Yeah. And
do you still have any of those texts on your phone?
No.
Why not?
I work, so my phone gets tons and tons of texts. I get over 3,000 texts a week. So I can't. Once a week, I delete all my text messages.
Got it.
Because I get so many, so it's hard for me to even flip back things. If I was to flip back to things to me and my wife talked about, it would take me a month just to go back a week.
Got it.
So
what do you do for work?
I'm an irrigation technician.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but why would you need to delete all the texts on Stephen Stern's, his number? And by the way, I think most people would be like, oh shit, and delete all. I mean, I don't know if you would do that or not, your text messages from him, because maybe you'd want to show law enforcement or something. But I mean, unless there's something on there that made you look bad, you wouldn't do that, right? I mean, you would delete him if you made you look bad, but not if not. But he said he just gets so many of them.
So you know a little bit about his parents and they breed poodles.
Yeah, I know his dad.
You know where they live?
Northport. I can't tell you the name of the block. I've literally been there once.
Okay, so you have been there.
Yeah.
Do you know them to own any other properties?
No, I don't even, I've heard things on these YouTube things and, it surprised me a couple things. Like, they're supposedly mom paid someone off or something like that.
Well, that was my channel.
Yeah, I never heard these things.
What
like,
you know.
Nothing about them. I've met them one time.
Do you know if they rent anything?
No. That's what I'm saying. I don't know anything about them.
Okay.
I've met them.
You don't know
time.
them to own a storage unit, anything like that?
No. I've literally met them one time. I've met the dad. I've shook his hand once. I've met his mom. I've said hello to her once. And I was in there for maybe 15 minutes and we left because of how loud it was because of the poodles.
Okay. For Warhammer, is there like a username and stuff for that? Gamer tag?
No, it's just Stefan.
Okay.
Yeah, you go by your first name. It's not like anything like that.
So Warhammer's not online. It's like a
it's actual in-person game.
Oh, okay. Now
That's when you said Discord or Reddit for it. No, like maybe a Reddit because you can like buy and sell them on Reddit or something like that. He's always told me to go check that out, but I've never been much of a Reddit user. Honestly, I've tried.
I didn't know if it was kind of like a World of Warcraft or something like that. Isn't that online?
Yeah, no, it's not like that. No. It's just an actual. You paint this stuff and you're on the table playing. There's like a mat and it's like things like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now I better understand.
Yeah. No, this is like an in-person game, just kind of like Magic the Gathering or like a Pokemon cards game, stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. But this is like actual like models that you build and put together and
like
paint and like that's why it's so expensive.
That's why it's so expensive because you buy them in little packs and then you individually paint each one. So you got to buy the paints and all the brushes.
Yeah, a pack is minimum.
And then you would battle somebody.
Yeah.
On the table.
Yeah, and roll dice.
Make
roll
like
dice. Choose what like attack you're gonna do and things like that.
And stuff like war vehicles and stuff like that.
Okay.
Just because I'm recording this and your name is
Oh, sorry, Brittany.
Brittany. What's your last name?
@ATZ.
Okay, and you guys are husband and wife?
I mean, we've been together, not legally, but we've been
Boyfriend,
together
girlfriend,
for a long time. 10 years
Okay.
plus. So
What's your date of birth?
June 16th, 1990.
Frank, June 16th, 1990?
Yeah.
And yours, Brittany?
February 27th, 1989.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, the reason I called because I was one of the last person that I'm pretty sure he saw before this all happened. So I mean, I can only tell you what.
Did he tell you he was going to Kissimmee?
He was supposed to go to Kissimmee that weekend that we hung out on the 17th.
Why didn't he go?
But he didn't. So he was like, I don't know, I'll let you know. And I was like, okay. And he's like, all right, I'm not gonna go. I'll come hang out.
Did he say why?
Nope. But he was talking about that girl that day, how they supposedly still had contact, and
Why would he bring her up? Like, how would
like it
that
was
conversation
like
even start?
they were talking about the breakup, him and my friend, and then that girl just came up out of it. Like, oh, he was sad that or like upset because they had created such a strong bond or something like that.
So
now that seems weird to me. Then it didn't really seem weird to me because it was just like, okay, you were with this person for a while, you lived there. This is a child.
So he was telling you, and correct me if I'm wrong, that he was upset that him and Jen broke up because he created such a strong
me
bond
and the
with.
person that were here that I had to introduce him when we were gonna go out. Yeah.
But that was the context of his conversation, is that he was upset that him and Jen broke up or breaking up, broke up because he was upset about the strong bond that he created with Maddie.
Yeah, but now we know it's not a bond. It's fucking sick. So.
Right, it seems so innocent when it's just said without context. Like, if I was in a relationship with somebody long term, several years, and now their kid, we're splitting up, of course I'm gonna miss that kid. But now with the context, it just seems.
Hindsight's 20/20, right?
Right, exactly. When you're talking, it's just regular. It seems so innocent.
Right.
When he sent me this, I was like, "What is that? What?" I mean, my kids love him. He's,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I never would have thought in a million years Steph would have been capable of this type of behavior.
Right. This one, I was watching the video. I had
I was like,
on his face, and he's like, "Oh, that's nothing. Daddy's friend." I'm like, "Yeah, he's in trouble." And just kind of left it at that.
Now, let me ask you this, since you opened that can of worms, has he ever been alone with your child?
No. But that makes me wonder now It's like, Stefan used to give me a lot of free things, like, you know, cards and these Blood Bowl characters, a pair. Like, was he trying to groom, like, get me comfortable enough for me to be like, hey, I gotta go to the store real quick, I'll be right
See, yeah, look how crazy it is, see? Seven Stearns is evil.
back. Mm-hmm. You know, like, that's in the back of my mind, too, because it's just sick. I would have never expected this, because I would have never been friends with somebody that does these type of things.
Right.
You know?
Right, we can't even go to Walmart without them being like, get away from my kids.
Yeah.
To random old
How come you guys don't just focus in on what they're saying instead of the stuff in the background?
people just trying to be nice.
Yeah, no, it's honestly really sick, and it's upsetting. Like, every time I see those pictures of him online, it's like, it rattles my brain. Like, how didn't I know this person was doing these things?
Gotcha.
Did he ever talk about, as far as when he would go to Kissimmee and stay with Jen and Maddie, his sleeping arrangements?
It's saying he told me there was a spare bedroom there. That's what I'm saying. Like, when they broke up, I'm sure. I mean, to me,
even when they were together.
I mean, to me, he didn't tell me anything about that. But you know, my assumption would be he'd be staying in the room with her. You know, that's just usually what people in a relationship
her
do.
as being Jennifer.
Yeah. Okay.
I know you said that you knew him to take Adderall.
Yeah.
Did you know him to take anything else?
No, I mean the time we went out, we just smoked a little pot and he had a couple beers.
I'm talking about prescriptions.
No. I don't know anything else about it. Like, I tell you, I know he had a prescription for Adderall, Ativan, and then in recent days he talked about Lunesta.
Do you know what those are?
Adderall is an ADHD medication.
Right.
Ativan is a benzodiazepine, which is for anxiety and things like that, which I thought was weird to be prescribed with
Boy, sure has that shit down, huh?
Adderall, because they kind of combat each other, so it can make you go into
Yeah, we know, Kate Parker, we know.
psychosis and things like that, and the Lunesta I know is for sleep.
Okay. Has anybody reached out to you since all this has happened?
Like, anybody of him? I only talked to two guys from the Warhammer group. That was it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has Jen reached out to you?
No, I don't know. I don't know her like that.
Okay.
Like I said, I've only met her on FaceTime, so I've never met her personally, face to face, anything like that.
Okay. Now, he says he takes sleeping medication, but yet he's continuously up all night.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then he would sleep all day. Like, I mean, like, all day. You couldn't get in touch with Steph until, like, at least 5 o'clock. Like, the earliest, 4:30, 5 o'clock, and then he'd take you up.
Okay.
Do you have anything else?
No, I don't either. All right. Do you swear and affirm that everything you told us today is the truth, best on your knowledge? So help you God.
Yes, sir. Yeah, absolutely.
We're gonna conclude this at 9:28 a.m.
Let's see. Maybe it depends on what country you live in, if you're a millennial. You know, let's see. Okay, now we're going to do the bio dad.
Hello.
Hi, is this?
This is what I listened to originally, and then for some reason the other audio file got loaded up, and I thought it was the same. I don't know, man. I got totally confused. I knew that this guy was the bio dad.
Tatiana and Tyler?
Yes.
Okay. Once again, appreciate you taking my call this afternoon. So, as you're well aware, I got myself and my partner here, Detective Smallwood. We are working the case in reference to Madeline.
Yes.
But hey, guys, we're going to do another 40 minutes here, so if you could help support the channel, that'd be great. I'll load this up tomorrow, the same 4, so people can just listen to them, you know, uninterrupted. I know that bugs people, so they just want to be able to listen to it. So you'll be able to listen to it tomorrow, but tonight's the live stream going over it. And there's actually 2 more audio files as well.
All right, so I know, Tatiana, you're not biologically involved, but Tyler is.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask a majority of my questions. I need him to answer instead of you. Is that okay?
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Tyler, can you spell your first and last name for me?
Yes, sir. My first name is Tyler,
Tyler.
Okay.
My last name is Wallace. Wallace.
Okay. So once again, first of all, I want to express our
I cut out all their addresses and their phone numbers and everything.
condolences to you.
Thank you, sir.
I know it's a difficult time for you and everybody else that's involved. So some of these questions may be difficult for you to answer, but I want you to do your best you can, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, Tyler, you are Madeline's biological father. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. I am her biological father.
Okay. When were you and Jennifer together?
I was... Are you asking our physical time or like relationship time?
Yeah, relationship time.
We dated when I was 16. I believe we were together for roughly 3 years. And then we ended up having an encounter in 2009 from which Maddie was born.
Okay.
We were not together at the time. I was with my wife. We were engaged. Well, we weren't engaged yet, but it was around that time.
Got it. Okay. Were you in Florida here, or where were you guys at?
I was at the time of our dating, so when I was 16 years of age and such, we would have been in Florida around Orlando and Kissimmee.
Okay.
I was living with my parents at the time. She was living with hers. At the time of our second...
I cut out a portion where he describes a time where he was in the military and there was an investigation and, you know, stuff like that. And, you know, I didn't want to have that's not really part of this. It has nothing to do with anything. It just allows people to judge and has nothing to do with anything.
An encounter in 2009, I would have been stationed, I believe, in Baltimore, Maryland, doing training, and then in Kings Bay, Georgia Naval Base is where I was stationed for my duty station, and I encountered her there.
Okay. Did she live up there or just come to visit? How did that come about?
She was visiting. Our initial encounter in 2009, she was living in New York with her father at the time. I had just gone through boot camp, and we had connected, I believe, on MySpace. And then she ended up visiting me and a group of my Marines around November, and I only know it was that time because it was around the Marine Corps ball, so I have something to tie it to. I'm actually pretty wishy-washy with time, but that was around the period our encounter would have occurred.
Got it.
I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Can you reframe or if I answered that, let me know what...
No, yeah, you're good. So you guys weren't actually dating at the time she was conceived, is that correct?
Yes, sir, correct.
Okay. How much involvement have you had in Maddie's life?
I have tried to maintain civil connections with the mother. I would say prior to the last 2 years, I normally got to see my daughter about once a year. Since I got to see Maddie, and the last time I saw her was October of last year.
And where were you then? Did you come to Florida or?
She came to Texas.
Maddie was sent to visit us in Texas. She traveled unattended. I received her at the airport.
Okay. How would you describe the relationship between you and Jennifer right now?
I am not contacting Jennifer, and I desire to receive updates outside of the family. All the information I have regarding my daughter has been passed to me through her family, and I just...
Right, I get that, but what was your guys' relationship leading up to all of this?
I tried to talk with Jennifer as little as possible. There was a period when Maddie was first born that Jennifer seemed pretty intent on breaking up my marriage with my wife, and so in the nature of making everybody happy, I just talked to Jennifer as little as possible, which is why I had so little contact with Maddie growing up. I only just recently started reaching out to Maddie through like Skype and stuff, where she was able to, or not Skype, excuse me, what did we use? I think we used like Instagram or FaceTime, but we would use like video chats and voice chat to start talking. And so I was starting to get a deeper relationship with Maddie, and then this occurred.
Okay. So you say you contacted her through social media. What
Yes,
do you list yourself on different social media accounts? What is your like screen names?
My screen names?
Yeah.
Usually my screen names will all be a variation of my email. I can give you my email, but it's going to be CPTHRDCR. So most of my screen names are like a variation of that with like a 13 behind it. But I have like on Facebook, it just says my normal name. I believe Instagram, I come up as like CPTHRDCR13. I'm not 100% sure that I'm bad at managing all of my social media accounts. I'm locked out of like half of them right now.
Okay. All right. All right. So you said you and Jennifer, you haven't had that cordial relationship. So, but you started with
I would say our relationship has been cordial, but it is a surface level cordialness maintained on our side to guarantee access with Maddie, because I was never able to afford to go to court to get my custodial rights established with her.
Okay. And you said you started reaching back out to Maddie last year on a more consistent basis?
Sir. Yes, sir. She was coming up on the age of 13, and so the last time I had stayed, when she had visited us in October, I was basically talking to her about how she would feel about coming to live with us in Texas, if that was something she would be interested in, and she expressed that she would be interested, but she didn't say why or what. We just kind of left it at that, and it was something I was going to talk to Jennifer about, but just hadn't yet.
Okay. How was Madeline when she come to see you in October?
She seemed to be in very good spirits, but a thing I kept saying was that I don't know if this will make sense to you, but I can give you the context if you need it. She reminded me of a character from a show called Euphoria, in the sense that there was just an emotional weight about her that I did not understand what was the cause. It just seemed like she was dealing with stuff that a 12-year-old girl shouldn't deal with, but I didn't get to see her enough to really pry, and so I was just trying to ask her like surface level comfort questions to build a relationship with her, but I had no clue anything was going on at that time.
Got it. How long was she out there visiting you?
She was with us for 4 days in October.
Okay. Have you talked to her since October?
I had a couple of Instagram communications with her since then. I talked to her, I believe, once or twice on video chat. And I can't remember the exact dates, but I have, just so you know, I have left all of my social media untouched since the search turned into a verification that she was in fact dead, just in case any of my social medias can be useful to you guys.
Okay. At the end, I'm going to give you my email address. If you can just send me screenshots of your conversations with Maddie or any that you may have had with Jennifer.
Yes, let me write that down real quick. Screenshots of conversations with Maddie or Jennifer.
Yeah.
Is there anything in specific you're looking for?
Nope, just all your conversations. That'd be great.
Say that one more time. Sorry,
just all of the conversations you've had with Maddie.
Yeah, got it.
And then if you've had some with Jennifer, those as well.
Roger.
So how did you come about to hear what happened with Maddie?
It was, hold on, let me pull up my phone so I can find the exact day. Give me 1 second. Monday, February 26th, or possibly, it was either the 25th or the 26th. I had just worked a shift in Texas, in Cypress, Texas, at my place of employment, which is Imperial Vapor Company. And the time on deck was around 4 or 5. The time on deck when I received the call was around 4 or 5 p.m. Interrupted. Jennifer called me and said that she had been informed by the school that Maddie never arrived at the school that day. And I asked Jennifer what she knew at that moment. She seemed distressed, but I told her, because she was trying to give me a bunch of stories about who had taken who where, and I said, I don't care about details right now. I need to know what you know. Where is Maddie? She did not know. And I said, how long has she been missing? And she said, since this morning. And then I said, okay, I need you to get in contact with the police department if you haven't already, and I would like you to continue to update me. And then she said, okay. And then she had mentioned that it was her birthday, and then when Jennifer and I were talking, I had started to mention the statistics of things like sex trafficking in Florida. I know that Houston and Florida are high on sex trafficking, so I was throwing out scenarios of what we should be looking for. Did somebody grab Maddie? Was there videos out there? Could we see footage? And Jennifer was, I believe, writing some of this down. I don't know, but she was trying to, it appeared she was giving me whatever details she could. But then after that, I went home and waited with my wife. I let my wife know Maddie was missing. We started making some social media posts to spread the word. And then on about day 2 or day 3, I just couldn't wait anymore in Texas. I felt really hopeless. And so I let Tati know that I was going to drive down to Orlando, Florida, which I did. I drove to Orlando, Florida, and I'm not sure which day I drove down. It was the 3rd day after I found out, though. And I stayed with my friend Lynn Bradshaw, who is like a lifelong friend of mine. He lives about 20 minutes away from the area where Maddie was taken. I can pause now if you have any questions, or I can keep going.
No, you keep going.
Fresh in my mind, though.
Yeah, keep going.
So at the time when I arrived at Lynn's, my initial first thought was, I'm going to fucking go out to the last known GPS location. Jennifer had sent me like a pin or a GPS location of where Maddie's disappearance would happen. And at that point, Lynn and I had basically discussed the pros and cons of going to look for myself. The pros being that it would make it feel like I was doing something. The cons being that I really had no idea what I was looking for. And then that's when we started seeing like Twitter posts from the Kissimmee and various police departments saying, please do not engage in any public searching. We are currently working on this. And so I feel like I just knew in my heart that shit was going bad. I was staying with Lynn to help me kind of keep my emotions in check, and just watching social media, refreshing every so often to see if any news articles had come out. A bunch of my friends flew in from out of town, so I was visited by Josh Losey, who flew in from Indiana. He's been friends with me as long as Lynn. I was visited by my friend Stephanie Elaine Ashley, who flew in from Seattle. They both stayed with me for a couple of days at Lynn's place. And then they flew out. And then my wife, Tatiana, flew in. At this point, I lose track of which days or when, because it just all kind of blends together. But I took notes. So if you need specific dates of when I was interacting with people, I should be able to dig that up. It's not off the top of my head.
Okay.
So
did you have any,
I believe it was the night I arrived at Florida that Lynn and I got confirmation that Stefan, and that he had been arrested, and that there was sexual abuse tied into this whole thing.
And how did you hear that?
I can't remember when I finally I had been trying to not listen to the news, so I'm not sure when I actually finally concluded that Maddie was dead. I can't remember if it was reading an article or if I had gotten a call. Maybe you called me. I don't really remember who told me. I just remember kind of the day that it happened.
Okay, how did you hear the news about him being arrested? Did Jennifer tell you, or did you see it on the news?
I was informed of Stefan being arrested by Tati. Who told you?
And then the news told me.
Okay.
The press conference.
All right. When you were here, did you and Jennifer see each other?
The only time I saw Jennifer was when I made an appearance for, I'm not sure if it was an official funeral, but I have pictures from the location and the name of the funeral house. It was a funeral house. They say that Maddie is going to be cremated in the next couple of weeks, but there was a closed casket that Jennifer's family was there, and I arrived with my separate party, I believe all interactions between me and Jennifer happened on a camera in the main thing of the funeral home. I did not speak with her anywhere else but in the funeral home. I hugged a few of her family members, and I hugged her at one point, but we shared very few words, and I was not a big fan of the hug. It was more for social purposes, but...
Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, our main focus right now is Maddie. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Not the relationship you and Jennifer have or have not had or whatever. That's
acknowledged.
So I don't know if some of these questions are difficult because of Tatiana is listening or whatever, but I don't want to, like I said, our main focus right now is Maddie. So
yes, sir. The hardest thing has already happened, which is she's dead. And I am not okay with that, but for the purpose of cooperation and for the purpose of your investigation, I'm willing to go through emotional pain to get there. So just please continue asking what you need, and I will keep you apprised of my emotional condition.
No, I appreciate it. Okay, did you and Jennifer talk about what may or may not have happened to Maddie?
Only on the initial phone call when I threw out a couple of scenarios trying to figure out where to even start looking for myself. After that phone call was pretty much minimized between me and Jennifer. I know at some point she had her phone taken and contacted me through an alternate phone number to provide me information of where like the funeral home was. So I was in text communication with her infrequently throughout my stay in Orlando for like stuff like that. I have attempted to comfort her before I realized that Maddie was dead, but that I don't think I was in Florida. That was over the phone when I was like, hey, this isn't your fault, that kind of stuff. But it's one of those things where as more and more information comes out between you and me, I'm becoming aware. I don't know what Jennifer did or didn't know. I don't know if she was aware of this happening or not, and the context of if she knew and was enabling, or if she is as much of a victim as Maddie, will dictate how comfortable I am having any frankly, I'm not interested in contacting her family ever again anyways, but like, it's one of those, if Jennifer as much as a victim of this as I am, I'm content to just let them live their life in privacy, but I swear to fucking God, if I find out Jennifer was involved and enabled this, I will take whatever legal action I can.
Okay.
I just need a second. I'm sorry, I'm ramping up, I just need a second. Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Do you think it was normal for Jennifer to call you when she went missing? Or did that seem kind of out of the blue because you guys haven't had much communication?
Jennifer almost never tells me anything. I think the only reason she told me is because she realized that I was going to find out eventually.
Okay.
But I can't confirm or deny that. That's just me speculating.
Okay. Has she told you in the past what any issues that Maddie may have had or has not had, like parenting stuff? Or
about 2 years ago when I was in prison is when I heard that Maddie had received a diagnosis for autism, which is something that I always thought that maybe I dealt with, autistic traits that I have. And the short version of the story here is I believe my daughter did not have autism, and I believe I don't have autism. I believe we have autistic traits that are symptoms of PTSD. And realizing that it wasn't a genetic autistic trait that I passed on to Maddie, it was probably her having similar developmental conditions that I had as a child that I was recognizing in her. And that's real fucking hard to deal with, man.
Okay.
I wish I had seen the signs, but I just didn't. I was just trying to get a relationship with Maddie on the back end. I've been so patient waiting to have my turn with my little girl. And then this shit happens and I just don't know what to think. I'm just processing. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
All right. Have you ever met Jennifer's boyfriend, Stefan?
I don't think so. I think I've only ever seen pictures of him on Instagram. I'm trying to remember that. I didn't remember when Stefan came into Jennifer's life, but I've done some research on Reddit, and according to a local post that I found, it looks like he may have entered her life around 2018, which I would have still been in Kansas at that time. I do remember talking to Jennifer about Stefan and being like, hey, I'm low-key uncomfortable with you just bringing a guy around my kid, but that was one of those things where it's like I didn't really feel like I had a choice. I didn't really feel like I had to say. Jennifer has always seemed pretty comfortable with Stefan. I knew he was a biomechanical engineer from what Jennifer told me, which always weirded me out on what the fuck would a biomechanical engineer want with Jennifer. Like, I'm not saying she's a terrible person, but I just didn't see what traits of her would attract somebody like that. And so I do have a working theory with what I think happened. I am aware that this is all speculation, but if you'd like to hear that, I will share with you what I suspect may have happened.
Okay. What do you think happened?
So the only thing that makes sense to me at this point is I've heard stories that possibly Stefan had stabbed somebody when he was 14 and that his dad had moved him across country. I've heard an article that maybe a former roommate had seen on Stefan's computer and that Stefan's mother had paid off the roommate. I don't know the veracity of those things, but those are what got me thinking on the mindset of, okay, so if his family moved him to avoid legal consequences for deviant behavior in the past, and he claims he worked at Disney, which I know Jennifer has always been around Disney, and so I'm thinking to myself,
isn't that crazy, you guys? The interviews that I did are making it into the, like, these are things that these people have seen. Frank and the biological father, they've seen the interviews that I did with those 4 people, and that's what they're referring to. So if you're new to this channel, you wouldn't know that I actually interviewed 4 different people, 5 actually, because I interviewed the co-worker that Stefan Stearns was sleeping with about 3 months ago, before this audio of her came out recently.
what would a predator do to find access to a child? Maybe they would go get a job at some place like Disney where there's high access passively to children and just observe. And then when he located a child that was of his taste, maybe he saw that Maddie was approaching Jennifer regularly, introduced himself. It has always been my opinion that Jennifer has not been as attentive of a mother as I would like. I feel like my daughter got passed around Jennifer's family for things like daycare quite often, and that whenever I wanted to get into contact with Maddie, it was difficult because I never knew when she was going to be home or available. And I think that maybe Stefan saw that as a predator and saw that that was a pretty easy environment to insert himself into their life. I then suspect he set up a... And at what point I become curious watching shows like Dexter or things like that is, okay, what fucked up their schedule then? How did he go from this patient calculating monster who did all of these things to being emotionally incompetent and disposing of a body off the side of a fucking road? I just don't understand what changed their behavior. And I say there,
meaning that person. Well, I think Stefan Stearns, my original theory on the first day that we covered the case was, well, if he'd been doing this for this long, why did he change now? And the only answer you could come up with is that he found out that she was either pregnant or believed she was pregnant. And now we have that information about her periods being, hadn't happened that yet in that month. And maybe that was something that made Stefan Stearns nervous, just that alone. And that's why they asked Jennifer, did you tell him that she missed a period? And she didn't remember. I don't remember what her answer was. But did he find out on her own? And by the way, does law enforcement, they would know, they've done the autopsy, if she was pregnant or not. But they may just believe that he believed that she was, because that's really the only really strong reason why you would do something like that. Sure, if she said, I'm going to tell somebody, but he would think he could convince her not to. If she's pregnant, he has no out whatsoever. He has zero out. That means that she's pregnant, she'll have to get it taken care of, there'll be questions asked, and it'll lead back to him. He has no out. If she said, I'm going to tell somebody, he wouldn't kill her. He wouldn't do that. He would think that he could use the same little charm in conversation that he always has and groom her and convince her not to say anything.
because I started watching. It took me a couple of days to have the emotional space, but I started watching interviews of them when they were reaching out to the news outlets. Jennifer told me they were going to reach out to the news outlets when Maddie was missing, so I knew she had done that, but I just hadn't watched the interviews.
Well, he had 300,000. He had 30,000 pictures, and he had thousands of pictures of Maddie. I don't know if he ever shared them, but he had them on his phone. Yeah.
And when I watched the interviews, Stefan is in a couple of them, and I was watching his body language, but then because I was doing that...
Yeah, that's something I thought of at one time, M.M. Morgan, but I don't know. I think she was aware, you know. I don't know. I think he just groomed her to not say anything. I think he drugged her too. So it might be that she was aware, but, you know, who knows? I don't like talking about that part of it.
Some YouTube videos about body language came out. I was looking at Jennifer's body language, and it's like I saw very strong emotions in her, but they seemed like anxiety, like not grief. She was waiting at home while our daughter was still missing. Like that, I literally can't wrap my brain around it.
Yeah. So here's the thing: this guy doesn't know Jennifer at all. The ex-husband knows her. And for him, it made sense how Jennifer was acting because he was well aware of her mental instabilities, the drugs she was taking, etc. This guy had a one-night stand. They had a child together. He doesn't know Jennifer at all, okay? They've never hung out, like, for any amount of time. So he's looking at her like a lot of the online sleuths with quotes around it do all the time.
That it doesn't make sense to me. And so what I suspect happened is something that they couldn't avoid, something like maybe or something, and they realized like, oh fuck, we can't get an abortion, we can't hide this. Maybe they did something. I don't know if Jennifer was involved or wasn't. Maybe Stefan did all this on his own and she just found out. That's where my head is at, and that's why I was like, you know what, I think I want to set up separate updates with the police department, because I just don't know. I just don't like the fact that everything I know about my daughter has been filtered through that family to me. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. That's my piece.
Mm-hmm. That's okay. Have you, like, when you and Jennifer were together, was she on any kind of medication or anything like that? Or do you know if she's been on any medication since?
She was never open with me when we were together. I do know that since we dated, she's been diagnosed with bipolar. I don't know what medication she's currently on, but I know that she's been on medications as hardcore as lithium in the past.
Like that, Plato?
Okay. What about Maddie?
I don't remember the names of the medications, but I was informed when Maddie came to visit me that she was on antidepressants, anti-anxiety medication. Do you know the names of them?
Yes, hydroxyzine was one of them. She would take at night. I didn't feel comfortable giving because I take hydroxyzine to go to sleep, and I only and so I was only one while she was here with us visiting. The other one was Miralax, so she could go to the restroom regularly.
Okay. Now, when you were giving her the medication to help her sleep, did she have a prescription bottle with her?
Yes, there was a prescription bottle.
And on the prescription, did it say...
Oh, this is pretty fun.
So that's what the doctor prescribed her?
Woo!
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Tyler, did you have any discussions with Jennifer about medicine that Abby was taking, or Maddie was taking?
Never.
Okay.
Did I remember? I don't think Jennifer ever really told me about their visits. It was just that when I was responsible for Maddie, she would rattle off a list of what I was responsible to make sure she got.
Okay. And when Maddie come to visit you, what were the sleeping arrangements like?
Maddie slept in the bed with Topsy. I wanted to sleep with them and kind of make a little Maddie sandwich, and she was not very keen on that idea, so she made sure that I slept on the couch. Sometimes we'd cuddle, but that was the sleeping arrangements. Is usually she'd sleep in the bedroom with Topsy, and I'd sleep on the couch.
Okay, whose idea was it to have the what you referred to as like the Maddie sandwich? Who wasn't uncomfortable with it, Tatiana or Maddie?
I believe it was Maddie who was uncomfortable with it. She didn't straight up say, I don't want to cuddle, but she would cuddle with me when it was just me and her, and I believe she'd cuddle with you when it was just you and her, but when we were together, she would become a little bit more shy, is the word I would use.
Gotcha. Okay. Now, when she would sleep at night, me having children myself, you know, sometimes children, they kind of flop all over the place when they're sleeping.
Wow, so and now there's another person that was, you know, wouldn't have minded cuddling, you know, the biological father. Are we going to have the same, how dare he do that? Yeah.
Did you notice anything like that with Maddie?
Yes, I will say I also sleep like that, and Tati had commented on how Maddie sleeps just like me. I very much thrash a lot, and Maddie was a kicker and a mover and a thrasher.
Okay, did it seem like she got good night's sleep, or she was up and down?
She, like, once I gave her the medicine, she was fine. Like, she would go to sleep.
Without the medication, she was more like me, though, where insomnia would set in, and in the evening, our emotions would... She literally told me one night, I'm so sorry, my medication is wearing off. I'm having big mood swings. They're crazy.
And so... Yes, I would wake up with like an elbow in my face, but to get her up in the morning was the issue, because she never wanted to get up on like the first shake or not even the second. So I just chalked it up to her being more like Tyler, because it takes him a while to get up in the morning. Mm-hmm. But
no, you think it was the medication?
Yeah.
All right. Do you know? You may not know this. Do you know if Jennifer was taking that same type of medicine?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Did she talk about her relationship with Jen and her relationship with Stefan?
I asked her if her mother and Steven were still together, and she says no, they're not together. She, loved her mom, mm-hmm. because every time I would make a little bit of a snarky comment, she would correct me and say everybody's beautiful in their own way. And we never really talked about Steven when she was around, just to say that they weren't together.
How was her demeanor when she answered that?
It was kind of well, they're not together, whatever. Just...
Would you call that dismissive?
Dismissive, yeah.
Okay, so upset or angry, or just kind of how would
kind
you...
of emotional reaction? Did she seem like she was uncomfortable? Did she seem how did she seem to you?
She just seemed like she was just casually talking to me. It wasn't a angry emotion or anything like that.
That's kind of the problem, is I would ask surface level questions on if she was happy, but she always answered pretty vaguely, and so I just truly never knew anything was wrong. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead. Keep talking. Okay. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
So she was just kind of just dismissive. We were just talking oh yeah, they're not together anymore. And I'm okay.
I know hindsight is 20/20, and you guys kind of only had a couple interactions with her yearly. But did you see any change in her personality over the last couple years? Do you anything that stands out?
I felt like the last time we met in October was the only time we ever really saw each other, is how I would describe it. I'm being metaphorical when I say I saw her for the first time and she saw me for the first time, and we really felt like we connected. Other than that, it's always been she hasn't felt I'm sorry, this is just father talk, but it's I've been watching her grow, but she hasn't felt like a whole person with her own questions and curiosity and motivations until the last time I saw her. She seemed more an adult than a child, and it's not that it bothered me, it's just that it made me curious on what caused the sudden change and growth. Like, she went from being a silly little girl to being what I would describe as a Euphoria character, which Euphoria is a show all about kids who are dealing with crazy levels of trauma.
Mm-hmm. You're referring to the show with
I think her name is Zendaya,
yes. Okay.
And yeah, I watched that show recently with my wife, and then when my daughter came to this, I couldn't stop thinking about that show. Just because I don't know how to explain it. These young girls have this 1,000-mile look on their face that I would expect out of, like, Vietnam veterans, not fucking little girls. Like, I'm not saying that there wasn't trauma there. I'm saying, as a man who has experienced trauma, that's what confuses me, is how so many young girls have that look in their eyes of, like...
How often did you have contact with Maddie prior to October?
How often? It was infrequent, unfortunately. I struggle with ADHD, and so did Maddie. And what that looks like for us is really bad time blindness and realizing you haven't talked to people for months and then reaching out awkwardly and trying to.
I mean, I would text her.
How often would you text her?
With regular communication, and earlier.
All right, everybody, can we hit that like button? And also, one last time, if you want to help support the channel, that'd be great. It costs us $1,200 a piece to get this audio. You guys have done awesome, watching the videos and helping recoup some of that. Appreciate it. What was the... Oh yeah, but hit the like button, all right? Right now. So what we're going to do is play the auctioneer. We're going to need to get that up to 650 with 797 people watching. Here we go. Hit that like button, 10, 20, 25, 30. Hit that like button, 40. Do I hear 50, 55, 55, 55, 60, 65, 70. Hit that like button, It's one of the easiest damn things in the world to do. You just hit the like button with your finger. Use your nose, use your toes, whatever blows. Hit that like button, hit that like button, 10, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Hit that like button, 50. Do I hear 60? Do I hear 70, 75, 80? Hit that like button, 90, 90, 99, 100, 100. Hey, we're at 600, 600. Do I hear 605? Do I hear 605? 610, 610, 610. All right.
In Maddie's life, Jennifer used to give me really big issues about that. And then I thought Jennifer was growing as a person because I couldn't tell you when, but just sometime
Thank you, Richard
halfway
Watts.
through Maddie's life, Jennifer just became a lot less judgmental and mean about it. She was just like, hey, I get it. You have stuff going on. We have stuff going on. And so I felt like that was us getting close. Like, I felt like that was Jennifer understanding us more at the time, but now I'm curious.
Welcome, Mindy.
All right, but going back to, you say it's infrequent on how many times you spoke with Maddie. So are we talking once a month?
Some weeks we would talk every day just because our schedules allowed us, and then sometimes we would go, I think, a couple of months without really interacting in any way.
Okay. All right.
And that was pretty typical of our relationship. Just very high intensity communication for a time, and then kind of dormancy.
Gotcha. Okay.
Thank you, Jeanette Garcia. Mamasaurus Bear 64.
All right, so I will do my best to keep you abreast of this investigation. Whatever information I share with Jennifer, I will share with you. This is a pretty high-profile case, as you can tell by it's made national news and stuff like that. So the stuff that we release is going to be very minimal. And it's not to say anything against you and or Jennifer. It's just when we do these types of investigations, we keep a lot of stuff close-knit just because you have, if you want to quote-unquote armchair quarterbacks that look into these things, and we don't need that happening.
Yeah.
So, acknowledged. That's exactly why I stopped coming up with my own scenarios and wanted to reach out to you, as I realized
like the guys that run around with the cameras and stick it in the people's face that are on YouTube? Those guys, yeah.
I was myself joining in on the armchair quarterbacking, and that is very much not what we want to do in this situation.
Yeah. So you may hear from me on a daily basis, or you may hear from maybe a few...
Jen was being groomed. See, I try to tell everybody this. What these predators do is they first groom the mother, and then they groom the child and eventually get the child to trust them, and then to get them never to tell the mother, and because they'll get some kind of reward and things like that. And then they keep pushing the boundaries, even with the mother. And the mother might go, "Hey, what are you doing? It's not good." And they'll make up some excuse, and then eventually they'll push that boundary further and further, and then they're trusted with things that you would just go, "Wow, that's crazy." But it's just the way they do this. You got to go look it up, man. It's wild. Unless you're not interested, you just want to believe what you want to believe without knowing.
2 days or a week or so before I contact you again, okay?
Completely understood, sir. Thank you.
All right, do you have any questions for us that we might be able to answer for you?
Give me a minute to think. Sorry. You may ask whatever you have.
Would it be possible if we could reach out to a victim service advocate?
Yes, I will take your number down, and I will have our victim advocate reach out to you.
Okay, because the press is kind of getting to the point where they're contacting us every day.
So my question to you is, I was until recently physically in Orlando. I was originally going to try to make myself physically available to you guys, but frankly, the emotional weight was tearing up my friends' lives too. This is really heavy shit, and I'm just trying to take care of my family and myself. So my question to you is, do we need to be ready to come down?
Oh, by the way, hit the subscribe button if you're not a subscriber, if you want to have somebody that goes over cases factually, and we get it right 95% of the time or more. Okay, if you want somebody that's just entertaining and throws out everything against the wall and then eventually sees what sticks and claims they got it right, you go ahead and watch somebody else. All right, that's not what I do here.
At some time, or are we trying to kind of make our way back to Texas at this point? I don't know what I should be doing in this case.
Yeah, you can go back to Texas. If we need you, or if we need to become face-to-face with you to gather more information, something like that, we will make a trip out to see you.
Okay, outstanding. In the meantime, would it be acceptable behavior if I were to, say, travel to visit my parents in Kansas, or is that something you would advise against at this time?
No, absolutely.
My parents just haven't been able to come down to Florida to grieve with us, so that was kind of my, not this week, but in a month, I intend to visit my parents in Kansas. Should that be acceptable?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
As for the press, I know you said the press has been contacting you. Once again, you're adults. I can't tell you what or what not to do. Only thing I can do.
With anybody at this point in time. We'll talk with victims advocates and legal representation to figure out if that's in the case's best interest at any point. But I have no horse in this race. I'm content to just stay off of the pages and grieve in private.
You have no horse in this race. What do you mean? Your horse in this race is for the prosecutors and the investigators to throw everything they have at Stephen Stearns. That's where your horse is. What do you mean you don't have a horse? That doesn't make any sense to me, that comment at all, man. When you have your child gets killed and you're going to say, well, I don't have any horse in this race.
Okay, so...
But, people just say random shit sometimes. It doesn't necessarily mean a damn thing, okay?
What I would do, though, is any press that reaches out to you or something like that, if you do not want to talk to them, you can always defer them to our police department, and our public information officer will handle all those requests.
I appreciate that. I will direct any further people that reach out through you guys.
Okay.
Is there a number, or in fact, if I was going to, what should I say when I'm directing them? Is there a number or an email I should give them?
Just tell them no comment. You can contact the Kissimmee Police Department. That's all you got to say.
No comment. Please contact Kissimmee.
I got to wait for them to type that down.
Thank you so much.
You got it. And I will be in touch with you, like I said, in the next few days. I'll probably reach back out to you.
Outstanding. I appreciate that.
All right. Yes, sir. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you. You too.
Yeah. So the weird things that the pleasantries people had. One of the interviews earlier, it sounded, it was just crazy, the things that they were saying. Hey, have a great afternoon. I mean, what was the one from earlier? God, it was wild. Man, I can't remember. I think it was in the interview with Jennifer. That one we put out earlier today. I put out the Stephen Stearns one. After I put the Stephen Stearns video, it was getting viewed, and then I put out the Jennifer video, and the Stephen Stearns video never got watched again. It was like, it went from 1,600 views an hour to like 100 views in 10 minutes. It was wild. Like, people just have the attention span of a flea. All right, let's see. I don't know when I'm going back over there, whenever I have time. I was thinking of maybe going over there tonight, but I don't know. I guess we could. You guys have stuff you can throw? Yeah, give me. I mean, there's been so much stuff going on lately. It's just going over there would be hours. Like, you'd just be going on and on and on. Oh, it's my conservative political YouTube channel. So if you're somebody that's voting for Kamala Harris, you wouldn't like it over there. Okay, so that's the hint that I'll give you. It's not a place for that. So I try not to talk about politics over here, but over there it's called Red, Gray, Blue, all one word with the number 1. If you type in @RedGrayBlue, there's a link right there if you want to go check it out. But don't be like, I don't like you, Gray, because you said. Well, I told you that's what I'm doing over there. Okay. Oh, look at Chloe. Look at Chloe. Turn your head, Chloe. Turn your head. She almost ran into the damn camera. Yeah, sure. If you're right in the middle and you don't really know, you should go over there. But I don't know. It just is what it is. Right. Okay. Well, anyways, thanks everybody for being here tonight. I want to say thank you to Karen. And also, let's see, there was another, and yeah, so Karen and also Susan K on PayPal earlier. Then we have, let's see, Simple Life, Cheryl Bullock, Wonder Woman 77, Raw Time Now, WNC Granny, Ash, We Say Howdy Here, Cheryl McDonald, Thelma, Kim DiMaggio, Lisa Valenzuela, GSUPM, Raw Time Now, Rachel B, Michelle H gifted a membership, then Karen, then Mo66, then Penny Gaylord, then Sarah67, then Linda Howell, as in Linda Molden Howe of the Cattle Mutilations and Crop Circles. That's so funny. You know, when you think about it, like, Linda Howe is like one of the nicest, sweetest person in the world, right? But you say, there's this lady named Linda Molden Howe, so you say so you go like this, Linda Howe, as in the Cattle Mutilations and Crop Circles, tagged right on her name there. Chris Sparks, Mo66, Nurse Chaplain, Heather Wyndham, Aslovan, GSUPM, Plato, Green-Eyed Pie, KR gifted a membership, then Sunday Doodles gifted a membership, and Karen gifted 5, then Mama Saurus Bear 64, new member, then Jasper, new member, Marksy, then Easy, let's see, Ease Divine, then Patricia Galindo, Cheryl Bullock, Cheryl, Justin Oki, 9 months, thank you, Linda Jane, 45, Amy Lemoyne, Southern Mom, Richard Watts, Mindy Cochran, new member, then Mamasaurus Bear 64, Janet Garcia, and Wendy Van Rocco, right at the buzzer there. Hard, complicated relationship in the case. Yep. I think it just comes down to that Jennifer Soto, had a sort of a bad lot in life by having mental issues, and then is given a ton of different medications where her perception and her decision making probably was lacking quite a bit. And, is that her fault? I don't think so. It's like That's how she is. I mean, if you had somebody, she has a mental problem. I mean, it's somebody, let's just say somebody had Asperger's or something, and they had a kid. Would you sit there and hold them to the same thing? Like, that's it. I mean, she's not, you can't fix what she has. You can give her drugs, Anyways, thanks everybody. It's great seeing you all. I hope to see you again. Do you guys want me to put this? I can put this entire audio from the night out in one, just a video that you guys can watch without any conversation. All right, that's what I do generally. And then there's also 2 more audio. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow night, something like that. Or we could do those 2 audio, like maybe I'll put a video out. This one will go out in the morning, and then maybe in the afternoon. I don't know. We'll probably just do the same thing. What do you guys think? All right, great. Excellent. So we'll see you guys later. Yeah. Anyways, thanks everybody for being here. And appreciate your support. Look at Chloe and Blue. Just the 2 of us. You can make. Look at that. That's awesome. She's just kind of laying right next to him, looking. Yeah. Anyways. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you're not a subscriber out there. What the hell is a gigawatt? Oh, not that one. This one.
1.21 gigawatts. What the hell is a gigawatt?
There you go. Yes. All right. Thanks, everybody. Maybe I'll see you on the other channel. Who knows? But in the meantime, be safe out there. And a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. Hey, there's a trigger bunny.
Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now.
It's a bunny, honey.
And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a...
You report around about me and the crew about something we did or supposed to do. You might not have heard it, or maybe you have, but when I
try and play me like an old projector.
Crime sector is my nectar.
Professor Gray is gonna give another lecture.
Crime collector, freak connector,
and I'm always gonna be a
pop protector,
fool deflector,
interceptor. And I mean a little spectre with a vector
on his
vector.
With all respect,
y'all, just remember,
I have a temper fucking
check, y'all.
I have
no agenda. I'm no pretender. And I'll serve it to you straight without the wonder. And in the end,
I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody? Talk to you.
What is, Rebby? What's annoying? You mean the rap at the end of the show? Is that what was annoying to you? Why don't you get the hell out of here? Jesus. Go ahead. What was the answer, Rebby? Go ahead. Was that annoying to you, the music there? Go ahead. Let me know. I think it would be unimaginable for her. Not with me being mentally ill. What a dipshit. Jesus. All right. See you later.